Oh God. If you're wondering, I'm listening to his like intro music. That's from his stream. What is this? This is the zoomiest shit. Yeah, man, like I listen to like classics like from the 2000s, you know, like My Chemical Romance. So you don't hear stuff like this anymore, bro. Copyright. It's like a remix. I'm listening to the old school whatever the fuck Minecraft. Mice on Venus. He has a Discord, and I tried to join his Discord, and it requires like associating your Discord account with some third-party service, and then using that to associate it with like 8 other forms of social media to verify that you're not ban evading or some shit. Like, don't know about this one. Hufflepuff. I'll probably do Hufflepuff just for the memes. Apparently they have the comfiest living space in the game, the best common room, so I might have to. Well, I'm gonna introduce myself to his audience, I suppose. He has a 9-inch nails hoodie. Oh my god, he was just like me, born in the wrong generation. Actually, 9-inch nails is like 90s industrial, right? So that's the right. I'm in the right time frame to enjoy such things. Will I be a trans black queen? Maybe. I'll have to see. I'm gonna have to see the depths of the stupidity in the generator, the character creator. I'm still waiting on him to figure. I asked the Zoomy man to send me a Google Meet link, and he did, and then he fucked it up somehow. So now I'm waiting on him to send me another one. I'm playing the Harry Potter game, comes out February 10th, I want to say, but because I bought the special Hippogriff Deluxe Edition, I get to play it 72 hours before the official release date. So I'm gonna play it as soon as I can, and I'll do that like 3 days in a row. So if you're interested at all in the game, yeah, it'll give you like a preview. You don't have to spend your money on like the deluxe version before deciding to buy it or pirate it or whatever the fuck. I'm gonna start I'm gonna Gamergate 2 the fuck out of that game. Streamer bait, yeah. Yes, exactly. That's how it works. I'm bad at Blockland is the thing. I don't think anyone actually plays Blockland anymore. I go to blockland.us. How many people are even playing? The website has not changed in 10 years. Last update was 2 years ago. He made it so that you have to play, you have to have Steam to play Blockland. Let's see, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 servers. 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, 14, 15 players on 25 servers, and the most is 5 playing Blockland server. It appears to just be people building bricks, so it's not like an actual, it's not like a special server. Speed Cart Club's Blockland server. Very sad. Well, there we go. I got a link finally. I'm gonna mute this in case there's like a special message to me at the beginning of this conversation. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. All right. Listen, the collab of the century, Turkey Tom and Null. This is what they've been waiting for. I'm sure you're getting thousands of emails in your inbox.
Do people even know who I am on your stream?
Yeah, they all know who you are. Well, I've talked about Kiwi Farms in a bunch of my videos, so they definitely know who you are.
Okay.
Someone, the last person I had on stream was, do you remember Ruben Sim? You talked about him on your show. He was like, I love Null, I love Kiwi Farms. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. So
he's like the guy, the Jewish guy that had a conversation with Jace from Deagle Nation, and he had like a really bad stutter, right?
No, what?
No, that's not Ruben.
No, Ruben Sim is
the Roblox guy. Yeah. Okay. No, he's in my chat. Sorry, I'm confusing him with someone completely different.
Yeah, that's a different guy. Yeah, that's close though. I mean, they're pretty close.
I think his name was a Ruben. I have to look this up now. I'm curious, but yeah.
Yeah, no, different guy, Josh. But first of all, thanks for coming on stream. I know you don't do a lot of collabs. It's not really your thing, so appreciate you coming on.
Well, I don't get invited because people are afraid I'll get their account permanently suspended within 3 minutes of talking to them.
Well, I did think about that, and if I thought that would be the case, I definitely wouldn't have streamed with you. But given that Nick Rekieta is on YouTube monetized and whatever else,
well, Nick Rekieta is a lawyer. He has extra protection that you don't have.
Does he?
Geez, I think that he has like special ends with the company because he has so many subscribers and he's a lawyer, and he's like filed complaints to them, like formal legal complaints. I think, I don't know. I'll try to avoid saying the bad words that you've outlined. You've outlined me a 47 paragraph essay about what words I can't say.
It was one small message. We're just gonna avoid TOS stuff, Josh. Okay, we're gonna avoid TOS. But listen, I'm not gonna be a Josh simp. I'm not going to be a Josh complete lover. Okay. We're going to ask some questions about the forum.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to do that is because, like you said, I mean, no one invites you on, but I feel like no one hears you out. No one hears your side of the story. So I want to do that at the very least.
I mean, I get very thorough interview questions from Mother Jones asking me where my mother lives and what she does for a living.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, I figured this would be a little more candid because, I can actually get in-depth conversations instead of just like, over email or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
So I added you to the Minecraft realm.
Okay.
First order of business.
Wait, I have to do realms? I thought I can't do realms.
You can do realms if you have Java. Yeah.
Okay. How do I do this?
So you're just gonna want to go to Minecraft Realms on the homepage.
I have to get a trial. Do I have to buy something?
No, I bought it already.
Oh,
just go to Minecraft Realms on the bottom, and then on the top you should have an envelope icon next to the Minecraft logo. You press that. There should be an invite. You just accept it. And then you go back to the home page of Minecraft, and then click Realms again, and it should show up in like a list of realms there.
It does not.
It does not. Maybe just go back to the homepage one more time and see. Did you accept the invite?
Yeah, I did. I did click it correctly, right? I didn't like click the wrong button.
You probably clicked it correctly. I'd say just go back to the homepage, and
I just see the thing. Realms is a safe, simple way to enjoy an online Minecraft experience.
Maybe just restart Minecraft real quick. Maybe
you don't have like you don't know how to host a server, do you? Like a Minecraft.
I have a server, but it's also populated by my fans who are gonna come stream snipe us and kill us. So that's why the problem with the server.
Okay, 1 second. I'll try to restart this.
I promise you, the realm is better, Josh. Okay, it'll be much more intimate. We'll feel very close.
Okay. Sorry, the actual experience of installing Minecraft is now a fucking nightmare, and it really unironically depresses me that kids your age will never be able to experience the joy of installing a computer program and actually being able to use it without having to like sell your soul directly to Microsoft and install all this other bullshit and port your account to a Minecraft Live account and have like a Windows Genuine and all this other bullshit. This literally did not, like, they slowly started adding all this bullshit that ruined computer games for absolutely everyone just like a couple years ago, like starting in 2012, and they just kept adding more and more fucking garbage to because microtransactions are so profitable. Every single player game in existence has had to find a way to implement, add them to them. Like with Fallout, for instance, they tried to make Fallout 76, because like their games are like the longest running single player games that still get played by thousands of people. And they're like, oh fuck, we built all these great games that people love and play for a decade, but we can't bilk them for cash for millions of dollars like GTA 5 did. We have to figure out a way around this. And now everything sucks because they're all trying to do that.
Didn't like nobody play that game though, Fallout 76?
Yeah, I mean, all these like no, everyone hates the Minecraft shit. Everyone hates the fact that now you're like stalked by Microsoft as you play. Like the chats in your single player like private games are like directly fed to Microsoft AI, so they can like machine learn what you say and then check you for the bad words and stuff. Everyone hates that, but it's all done in the process of trying to make the next most profitable media franchise, which was GTA 5. GTA 5 is the most single profitable piece of media ever created because of microtransactions. Okay.
Really? I thought it was like Pokemon or something.
Nope. Well, I mean, Pokemon's many games over decades. That's a lot. Hello Kitty, I think, is like number 2. But as far as like a single video game or single movie or single whatever the fuck ever put out, it is.
You have a Doge skin? Is that what this is?
No, it's Slobbermutt. It's my avatar.
Oh, it's your dog? Okay.
I think so.
Nice.
I might have just downloaded a random dog, but I think this is handmade for me.
Alrighty. Well, listen. Welcome to my Zoomer Minecraft world. Zoomers only, but we're accepting you, honorary millennial, in just for this once, just to come in.
This is the house that was being... I saw the foundation of this house being laid down as Flamenco was screaming.
Oh, no, this is a different house. This is like
okay.
This is a different house, thankfully. That was on the server, actually. Yeah, I saw you watched the Flam thing.
I did.
You had some advice for Turkey Tom. You said,
yeah,
internet blood sports is bad.
The thing is like you're gonna talk to Keffals tomorrow, and here's the thing, right? When you talk to these...
Okay, here's the thing about that. I don't know if she's gonna be willing to have a conversation with me after this.
Well, this is this is the greatest way to cop out of that bullshit ever, is you just invite me on, and then they're gonna cry. I don't know what pronouns I'm allowed to use without getting you permanently executed by the mafioso, but
say she. Come on, Josh.
no, you'd have to. I would rather be fucking shot dead than play pretend. They is what we're going with. Okay. So yeah, if you want to cop out of that conversation, then you can just invite me on.
The thing is, I don't want to cop out of it because I actually I want to, like with Flamenco, right? Flamenco is like this like delusional person who can't accept reality. With Keffals, the proposition she had to come on stream was that she disagrees with my characterization, and Birdie, the ED editor who is on, his characterization.
Who the fuck is Birdie?
He starts. He's this dude who just like he edits for ED. I did a video. I had him on stream. He explained the Keffals lore to me, and I tried to give kind of a brief synopsis for the normies or whatever. So I did that, and then I posted it as a video, and I got like 50,000 views. And then I guess she watched it because she messaged Nick Diorio. She was like, "Hey, I want to talk to Turkey Tom. Can you set up this conversation?" And he was like, "Yeah, what about?" And she was like, "Well, I disagree with the characterization that I guess I disagree with the characterization that I pick all my battles." So, you know, basically in the stream, Birdie was asserting that she picks fights with people, and then
when you say she, do you mean she or do you mean they?
Keffals. I mean, okay. I mean, listen, I respect pronouns, Josh. I'm not like you.
Cringe.
Okay?
I'm sorry. Nice guy. I'm so sorry. Listen, kids, listen to this and I'm so sorry for what society has done to you. I wish I could have done more. I wish I had known and been in a position of power to help you.
But you're not. Instead, you were. Actually, I don't even know what you were doing. Like, where were you 15 years ago, Josh? What were you doing?
I was on Blockland terrorizing children.
Oh yeah, Blockland. What is Blockland? What is this lore?
Blockland was a game before Minecraft, before Roblox. That was like literally like a Lego brick building game where you had pieces like in Tetris shapes that were specific, and it was just supposed to be like a Lego game for other goons because Bad Spot was a goon, and the actual people who started playing it were literal children. So he didn't like that. Because he hates children. So you have this terrible goon misanthrope somehow in charge of like a website full of children, and the result of that was one of the most maladjusted internet forums ever created for a vulnerable population of literal kids, and I am the byproduct of this.
Gotcha. So it all goes back to Blockland. With some people it goes back to Gamergate. With you, it goes back to Blockland.
Everything that I do in the name of Eric Badspot Hartman. Peace be upon him.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, glad to know your origins as a Blockland gamer. All right. Well, I think one of the first things I wanted to ask about, because obviously this is something that I want to talk about with Keffals as well. I assume this will be a point of the conversation if she still agrees to come on. Is so there's a bunch of stuff that Keffals has said, which I would argue is like dishonest, is flat out lies about Destiny, about the forum, about stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if we go all the way back to the beginning, the inception of where the drama started, you could argue that the drama started because the forum dug through her shit, doxed her.
No, it started with Destiny. Keffals really wanted Destiny to be a broke, starving, homeless, unemployable, completely distanced from society, shoot himself in the head because he's so depressed.
Well, I know that's true. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the reason why she went after Kiwi Farms is because they dug through all her shit, right? They dug through.
Actually, no, I would disagree with that too. What happened is that when I came to the defense, I featured this on my podcast. I just mentioned in brief because this was like a byline on the Keffals on the Destiny thread, that this trans Twitch streamer was taking shots at Destiny. And of course, it's very funny because Destiny lives his life on his knees. Every single thing he says and does is in service of the status quo of what people are allowed to say. And he holds the line completely. I think the only thing that he said is that trans girls have an unfair advantage in women's sports. That's all he said.
You think that's not just also how he feels? Like, you think is a dishonest thing?
I don't care. I don't care what he believes. I just know that everything that I've ever seen of him, he lives his life on bended knee. What he believes is between him and his maker, but
in a way, you kind of have to live your life on a bended knee. I mean, I'm someone who
you don't. The reason why everyone has to abide by these rules is because we let people like Keffals dictate what the rules are going to be instead of just telling these freaks to go kill themselves. I guess I can't say that. To go Minecraft themselves.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, but okay, in Minecraft and Roblox.
And yeah, to jump off into the lava in the Netherlands is what I meant.
But the thing about that is the thing about that is, like, it's not collectively everyone who agrees with Keffals who agrees with, let's say, the
no, but everybody lives in fear of having their lives ruined by these people.
You have to, because you get your life ruined.
Yeah, but the thing is that if people just stood up and said, no, we're not going to do what you say, go away, you freak, it would be solved instantly.
For there to be that huge of a consensus, I mean, that's a huge ask, you know what I mean?
No, it's not. Because there were people before you. You have to remember that there are thousands of years of history in mankind, and every time there has been this injustice and oppressor, it has taken people literally laying down their lives to get rid of this oppression. And right now we live in an unjust society. We live with an oppressor. We live with an imbalance of power that is causing a deterioration of our quality of life and our ability to live a fulfilling and self-determined life. The correction of this is going to be extremely violent because we have allowed it to progress to such an unfixable situation where if anybody says anything about this, they're banned from YouTube, they're banned from payment processors, they're not allowed to work, they're not allowed to have a career, they're not allowed to live in peace.
So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying like can you blame anyone? Like can you blame someone like me, let's say, right? I'm someone who a lot of people accuse of, let's say, being all right or far right. I'm not, but I do like to make jokes, and some of those jokes probably fall in line with things that those people find funny. Like, obviously I'm going to avoid making those jokes online, like, in certain settings, because it would have a detriment to my career, to my bottom line, right? Do you blame me for that? Do you think that's like a cowardly thing?
There is, it's hard for me to say, because this is something that would require either foresight or retrospect to analyze correctly. It's like, what is the most correct? If you're aspiring to fix things, to allow people to say what they want again, you have to look at it from a situation where it's already been fixed before you can say what is the correct way.
That's the thing. I think it's over. I think it's unfixable.
No, don't ever say that. Never. Listen, if you believe that things are fucked and they are fucked, guess what? All you get as a benefit of that is saying, look, I was right. If you believe things aren't fucked and they are fucked, well, then you just lose the benefit of saying, hey, I guess I was right. But if you are optimistic or if you're pessimistic and things aren't fucked, then you might lose out on an opportunity to fix things because you've just given up already. And if you're optimistic and there are ways to fix things, then you fix them. So the only acceptable answer to this conundrum is to look at things saying, "There's no way that it's fucked. We can still fix things. Of course we can."
I
And
mean,
it doesn't even matter if it's true.
That's a very, nice white pilling statement. But to me, it's obvious that, I mean, I've grown up in a time when, just when I was like able to understand like concepts like free speech, like when I turned 13, 14, like just when I became old enough is when that stuff started going away. And so it's kind of just been the status quo. You know what I mean? Like watching Leafy get banned and watching, let's say, Lieutenant Corvus get banned and people like that. I mean, these are, YouTubers from my sort of area of the internet that I watch get banned. And it's just kind of been one thing after another. And then, the whole Kiwi Farms thing, to be honest, I thought the farms was going to be gone by like this time.
So did I. But the thing is that I never gave up. I just said, I'm going to do this until I have exhausted all possible options. And it is because I maintained an optimistic approach to how I was solving problems that the site is still up. So if you ever need proof of concept that you should never give up and say, oh, things are hopeless, then look at what I've done. I am literally one person. I do not have the support of my family. I don't have the support of my government. I have the support of no banks or financial institutions. I live my life on less than a couple $1,000s a month, and most of that goes to my servers. But because I just look at things and say, okay, this is what we have. What can we do about it? This is the reality of our situation, and this is what I want to accomplish. What can we do about it? I've been able for 10 years as of February 3rd to keep the site up through sheer tenacity alone. And the thing is that I am not an incredibly smart person. I'm not educated. I have no higher education. I have an Associates of Arts. I took Filmography 101 in a community college. I'm not like some incredibly important gifted individual that has made serious contributions to technology. I'm literally just some fucking guy. And everybody listening is just some fucking guy. And in some ways, there are times in your life where you'll be able to have a positive impact towards accomplishing the world that you want to see. And all it involves is you sticking your neck out just a little bit. Like you see something bad happening that you know that you can do something to correct. And it might be risky to do that, whatever that may be, but you should always do it.
Well, here's the other question then, because obviously, okay, let's say you did manage to keep the site up. Let's give you a clap for that. But like being that martyr, being that person who, I mean, is running Kiwi Farms, or let's say is in any similar position, is probably not like fun. Like, are you a super ecstatic person about?
I love running my site. I love running your site. I love running my site. I love my
site. Is like all you have right now, you know?
No, it's not. I guarantee you, I can't say like what I do because people like Keffals will actively try to destroy it. Keffals, of course, loves to say that I'm like a cyber stalker and I try to like fuck with people until they kill themselves. I can promise you that Keffals would try to destroy whatever I have. I have things I'm very thankful for. I am not a depressed person. If people think that I am like some, extremely unhappy loner, and I just stick to the forum because that's literally
kind of what I thought, to be honest. Yeah, that was my.
Well, you're wrong. Anyone who thinks that is wrong. It's what they choose to believe, or rather, I can't even blame them. It's like I can't blame people and say, oh, they have like a negative opinion on me. It's more like, from what I show people, what I'm allowed to show people, it's very little. And it's like my show is called Mad at the Internet. So when I talk on stream, even I'm very angry. I'm never talking about the things that I love, unless it's like food or other things that anyone could talk about without showing my hand too much.
Pizza.
Yeah, pizza and licorice chocolate and stuff. But the only reason why I can only show that much of my life is because people like Keffals would literally try to destroy it immediately. Anything that I say that I enjoy, right, Keffals will go after. There are people posting like old screenshots of me playing EVE Online right now saying, can we get this guy banned from EVE Online? I played EVE Online when I was like, I think in 2013. It was a long time ago, but it doesn't matter. They still want to get my like Steam account banned or my EVE Online account banned. So like these are the misery golems out there, and they try to deprive people of what they enjoy. So no, I'm not like super unhappy. I just have to be very.
Has Keffals said anything about you recently, or is that kind of?
Keffals has to pretend that they won. So it's whenever the whole thing is that Keffals is not allowed to like address what I say or address things on the forum, because as far as their audience is allowed to know, the Kiwi Farms was destroyed months ago, right, and it's not up, and it's never been up actually.
Right. Okay. Well, that kind of leads me back to where this kind of tangent started, if you don't mind, which is with Keffals. Okay, let's say she didn't start it. Let's say she didn't start, the conversation around Kiwi Farms. Bottom line is, Kiwi Farms is a place that digs into people's past. They dig into who they are, and it's all, it was all public information. But that also entails sometimes with people like Dream or Corpse Husband, it involves posting info that at the time they wanted to be private, right? And I'd say Dream and Corpse Husband are two people that probably don't deserve to be to be doxxed, right? To have their public info out there. I think they should have a right to privacy. But their faces are on Kiwi Farms at the top of threads, and family names and stuff like that. I guess my question would be like, how would you, how would you defend that, and how would you make the case to like the average person that that's like okay or cool?
The thing is that everybody is responsible for their own privacy, and the reason why, like, I'll state this because I don't think many people understand my actual position on doxing. I don't hold the position that dox is a mandatory element of a thread on the forum. It's pretty much an inevitable component of every thread, but it's not something that I'll say, no, you can't post this thread unless you know what middle school they went to or whatever the fuck. There's no requirement for that. The issue is that when you start letting people decide what can and cannot be said about them in regards to their personal information, is that this has to apply in a way that is equitable. So then everybody gets to decide what can and cannot be said about them. And you might think, oh, well, this is obviously just like maybe relatives, or this applies to a specific demographic. But the reality is,
right.
that
I mean, the argument there would be like, okay, well, can you just say everything but like their legal name and like docs and like face, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'll give you a real example of where this, like, most people would agree. If you ask the question, do you think that revenge pornography should be legal? Posting nude images without someone's consent. I think most people, when you ask them that, would say, of course not. That's horrible. We live in a digital society, and most relationships start online, and people should be allowed to have some expectation of privacy, even when they're doing something that might be considered stupid, like sending nude images out or whatever the fuck. Most people would have a pretty reasonable opinion like that. The issue is that, for instance, you have whores. You have actual whores who sell their body, and then after they're done, like, I'm not going to name names, but there's somebody out there who you may be familiar with who decided to do findom fart pornography before becoming a Twitch icon for children. Still active, actually. So this person did this themselves, and then they complained that they were the victims of revenge pornography. But the reality is that no, actually, you are a whore, and you have sold your body online. It is a commercial product, and I get to make fun of it because that's my freedom of speech.
Well, so the thing is, that is one scenario, but the other scenario would be, let's say that this person hadn't done any of that. They had a private relationship where, or I guess let's not even say that person. Let's just say some other hypothetical human being, right? Or let's say even me, right? Let's say me as a 20-year-old.
Don't send your dongas to your fans. I'm telling you right fucking now.
I'm not sending it to my fans. I have a girlfriend. Let's say for some reason or another, my girlfriend took a special pill that made her go crazy and decided to put my penis out there. Would it be okay for that to be on the forum? I mean, I would say no. I would say that's probably a bad thing, right?
I mean, the answer is yes, because everyone has to be treated the same. If you want to talk,
that's the thing. That's your answer, but it's like, I don't think that's,
people wouldn't.
Yeah, in my eyes, that's not the same.
A lot of people would disagree with that because it does come from revenge. The issue is that if you're going to make that argument, that you shouldn't be making it to me. Again, I am just some fucking guy. I am not your priest, not your moral arbiter. I have no position in government or authority. I simply allow everything that can be allowed, and I do not put myself in a position where I make morality-based judgment calls on pretty much anything. If you want these things to be considered, unpostable, it has to be legislated. I have to know, as a website operator, as a network administrator, what exactly is and is not allowed on my website. There's in this call to like banning doxing and shit, they never ever make the call to like actually legislate what, because if I had like a clear-cut guide of what was and is not allowed, like I do with child pornography, I know what the DOS standard is, I know what is and is not allowed to be posted in regards to child exploitation, then maybe I could implement. Sorry, I got distracted by this green and yellow red block up here that I've never seen before.
No worries, buddy. Very pretty game, I know. So
like, okay, if there was like a guide on what actually could and could not be posted, then maybe I could work with that. And then if I disagree,
are you saying you just allow everything that's legal? Is that it? Is that your site's policy?
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing is that nobody ever tries to challenge us, because where most doxing information comes from is the white pages. And do you know where the white pages gets this information?
I mean, white pages is public information, right?
Yes, it's names and phone numbers and addresses, the exact same information that you don't want posted on the internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
They get
well,
this. Well,
I guess
no. Listen, I'm not saying that people get it from the white pages and that's why it's okay. I'm saying the reason why these websites exist and they're able to get this information is that they buy it from advertisers. Do you know the information that people can find just by with your name and birthday? That shit comes from aggregation of marketing data. So if we had rules that like made it so that, for instance, your voter information wasn't public or marketing data wasn't public, then it would be way harder. It would be way easier for people to actually exercise their freedom of speech anonymously, which is pretty much currently impossible because we have no expectation of privacy because businesses own all your personal data. The anger is misdirected, is what I'm saying. People get angry at the forum for allowing doxing when it should be, why is it that every state makes voter registration information completely public when we don't even have voter ID laws in almost any state? Like, what purpose does that even serve? And then further, why do we allow corporations to peddle our data and sell it in mass to sites like Spokeo and Instant Checkmate and the white pages?
I guess my follow-up question to that would be, okay, well, let's say everything you do on the site is technically legal. And you say you don't want to make any moral judgments. I mean, a lot of people will criticize you for that, but if it's not something you'll move on, there's not much conversation to get there. The next question, I guess, would be, I know there is sort of a culture on the site of, don't touch the poo or whatever. It's like, don't interact with the cows. But obviously, when you post someone's personal information, that's going to happen, right? In any scenario. And people would argue that the difference between a site like yours and a site like Twitter, which like doxing does happen on Twitter, like Dream got doxed to like hundreds of thousands of people. People were liking it, like very normal, average people were like liking Dream to dox. And meanwhile, then a bunch of the same people probably go after Kiwi Farms.
Yeah, no shit. We're all guilty, right?
Yeah, but I guess the question is like, okay, Kiwi Farms though, its purpose is as an aggregate for documenting these people, including personal information, and it sort of serves as like, if you were someone who was looking to go and swat a bunch of people, like Kiwi Farms would be a decent reference to go and like find all their personal info and just.
Well, that's the big issue, is that right? All the swatting shit, they are going after people either on the forum intentionally to try and create this problem. So yeah, it is. But even then, like for instance, with Keffals knows this and lies that they were not doxed on the Kiwi Farms to begin with. They were doxed by a different site. I guess it's not kosher to say which site. And this site, I think specifically,
I know the site
listed all their their family information and stuff too. So this happened before the Kiwi Farms, but so in this specific instance, Keffals didn't even give a fuck that they got doxed. That was the greatest thing ever. They made $100,000 getting doxed. And getting swatted by these other people, but they still blame the Kiwi Farms because that's the target they want to go after. With Marjorie Taylor Greene, we had no threat on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, in some cases, people get swatted without even being doxed, because guess who has all your docs? The police. So you can just take someone's information, lie about what they're doing, and then the police will investigate it, issue subpoenas to get your personal information.
I mean, if you call the police and say Marjorie Taylor Greene did this, and they're going to know who that is, to be able to find her, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's also a point of frustration, is that like people can do bad things with information, but that argument has been done to death. People can do bad things with the internet in general. People can do bad things with encryption. The fact that people can do bad things with something good does not mean that something good is inherently bad.
Right. And I guess the other thing that people would probably bring up in regards to the forum is that there seems to be a culture of, I guess transphobia, you would probably call it. Like there's just a lot of like, anytime I've talked about Keffals and stuff, like I'm someone who's been critical of Keffals, but also like I'm respective of her pronouns, which I know you don't like, but I'm respective of that. And every time I do that, everyone on the forum is like, "Oh, don't you mean him? Don't you mean what's her dead name? Lucas? Don't you mean Lucas?" Yeah, people like
less than she, less or greater than she.
Every single time that I mention her, people say that, and it's like, I think that would be one of the main criticisms people have, is that it's like sort of a hateful community in that way. I guess my question would be like, how would you respond to that? How would you characterize that? Is that just like a byproduct of being so vilified by the internet and like being the only place?
It's a byproduct of the fact that nobody can say that shit anywhere else. You want to know why the forum has 4,000 people on midday? It's because they have nowhere else to go. People have thoroughly banned any of this conversation anywhere. Any sort of hospitable place that might have counter views and good ones to say like, I'm trans and I don't molest any children. Those places have so thoroughly banned any kind of dissenting opinion that there is no way for these conversations to actually play out. So people have to, if they want to be gender critical at all, quote unquote gender critical at all, they have to come. There are women who are completely normal soccer moms who are just regular Karens who are concerned about their own children that post on the Kiwi Farms, even though they don't like the racism, they don't like the, explicit transphobia with the go kill yourself stuff. They don't like that, but they have no other options because the internet has been so thoroughly sterilized by the controlling powers to be explicitly pro-trans. So if you want to blame the Kiwi Farms for being so acidic, then you should be angry at the fact that people have silenced any sort of actual discussion anywhere, be it Twitter or Twitch or YouTube or whatever the fuck. All of these places are so censorious that you have driven millions of people a month to my site because I hold a monopoly on something that should be a human right.
Right, and I guess the response that Keffels, I'm imagining, like, if I would put myself in Keffels' shoes, I don't think she believes in freedom of speech at all. So her response would probably be like, well, if you don't want to, be vilified, then you shouldn't be transphobic, right? That would be her response. So yeah, I mean, there's probably no wiggle room there.
Yeah, and I don't even know why. Like, I was actually going to ask, why do you even want to talk to this person? Like, in your audience, I don't think Keffels is going to change anybody's mind, and in their audience, I don't think anybody's mind is going to change. Nobody's going to be like, wow, this turkey.
I mean, I think it would be good content, and at the end of the day, that's what I'm, in the mode to deliver. I'm not someone who, obviously I have my own opinions and stuff about everything, but at the end of the day, like, my ultimate goal is to make the best content possible, and if I think Keffels coming on my stream would probably be interesting. I mean, I guarantee if I said, like, I'm going to talk to Keffels, people would be so excited. I was supposed to talk to, you know who Sneeko is?
Vaguely.
I was supposed to talk to him. He's like this red pill dude or whatever. And then he ended up like backing out and like never getting back to me. He kind of big leagued me to talk to Destiny, and then he didn't talk to him, so I got cucked. But people were excited to see that kind of interaction. Like, people like to see debates, like to see blood sports, and I don't want to have like sport kind of interaction with Keffels. Like, honestly,
you just have to remember that. Like, there is it is just content. It's like team sports. This is like, nobody plays sports anymore because sports suck, and you have to kneel and give thanks to BLM and trans people every time. And then if you're a woman, your skull gets cracked open and you feel helpless because your opponent is biologically a man. Nobody watches sports anymore. Instead, they go to Twitch and watch fat neckbeards yell at each other about socialism and if the Soviet Union or if the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic had it best. Like, that is the modern day sports team, because nobody listens to this shit and goes, this guy makes some salient points about the free market capitalist system. It's more like, yeah. I love my boy Vaush. Woo! Woo!
I mean, that's the thing. At the end of the day, like, people will say whatever they want about me, but I mean, people can be critical of me for this. That's totally fine. But my ultimate goal is to make the best content possible in like whatever way that is, as long as it's not destructive to my life and other people's lives. If I can do that, then that's a win for me. I want it to be fun. I want it to be interesting, and that's, I mean, above all else, like, we have this conversation and whatever. I have goals with it. I have like personal wants. But at the end of the day, like, all that stuff is kind of just my own interest, and the interest that I have for everyone else is just that they enjoy the content one way or the other, and that would be the goal with talking to Keffels. And I mean, frankly, I mean, she reached out specifically to talk to me, and I feel
because
like,
guess why?
Well, the reason why is because I did a video about her, and she thinks that she can correct the record in some way. And I figure, you know what? I mean, I did shit talk her. I may as well like get in a call with her and hear her piece. You know what I mean? I feel like I owe her that.
Oh, I was gonna say it's because they're completely irrelevant because they failed to take down my site, and that's all they had going for them. Their entire life built, their entire career.
Well, the thing is, her YouTube channel is very irrelevant. The Twitter is still doing okay, and her YouTube channel is slowly getting some level of traction.
That's with all the YouTube shit, all the algorithm manipulation that gets a few thousand views a video. It's very impressive. I wish I had that kind of support. It takes that much top-down manipulation to get any kind of traction to hear.
What do you mean manipulation?
You don't think that there's people on YouTube actively manipulating the algorithm for the most how do I want to phrase? Most politically corrective, progressive voices. You don't think that's a thing?
I think that YouTube, honestly, in my experience, YouTube themselves are way less political than people think they are. I think they bow to advertisers very easily, and I think you can criticize them for that, but ultimately their interest is in making the most money possible, and that's the interest of most companies. And so I think I don't think YouTube particularly promotes Keffels. I think that YouTube promotes stuff.
Keffels openly brags about having people in YouTube, having people in the media, having people in Twitter.
YouTube, I know. Okay, I know Twitter. I know the media. Twitter's corrupt. The media's corrupt. But YouTube, really? Is that real?
Yeah, absolutely.
To be honest, I almost just don't believe that.
Keffals is friends with the fucking the dude that stole government documents. Liz Fong Jones is capable of calling up people who run tier 1 ISPs.
The female who stole government documents, yes. The woman who stole government documents, Josh. But
he was a man when he stole the documents. I don't know.
Okay, but yeah, I know Keffals is friends with them, but they don't work for YouTube, right? I guess I'm just dubious of the idea that like YouTube specifically is pushing Keffals, because even if they were doing that, like let's say they are, like they should be seeing more success than they are now.
Yeah, I think nobody wants to watch a boring troglodyte drone on about fucking kiwi farms and how their prostate orgasms so fucking hard. Nobody alive.
Well, they're not really talking about kiwi farms anymore. They're trying.
The last video I watched was about how intense his prostate orgasms were. Nobody.
Okay, that's not kiwi farms though. What I'm saying is they're actually trying to become more like Keffals.
They're trying to branch out by talking about prostate orgasms, and it doesn't work.
Not just prostate orgasms, not just that. She's talking about like Andrew Tate and whatever else. And like
who the fuck wants to hear a Canadian communist talk about Andrew? Do you honestly think that this channel would have any chance of having the level of success that yours does unless there was people pushing for it? You can watch the streams on Twitch and they have like 200 viewers.
Have the level of success I have. I get, you know, 1 million views a video.
Yeah,
she gets like
because 10, like you said, your focus is on entertaining content. Do you think Keffals tries to make entertaining content? Have you ever seen them talk?
I think she's trying. I think she's not good at it. I think she's definitely trying.
This channel would have 50 views unless they had media people and people in YouTube giving them all the tips to get the most algorithm juice. Dude, when I open fucking YouTube homepage, there is a shelf, a quote unquote shelf they call it, that says check out these hot black trans creators. Every fucking time, and every fucking time I see this shit, I say no, I don't care. I'll never care. You'll never get me to watch one of these black trans creators. And then I go through, actually before I close out of it, I go through and I manually on every single video say don't recommend this channel, and I do that every time, and it still comes back and I still close it. And look, this is the kind of shit that they do to keep these things floating when nobody fucking cares.
Well, the thing about that is like that's just sign of the times. But end of the day, like, you know, even those videos you're clicking on, they probably don't have a lot of views. And Keffals, I mean, despite them, you know, okay, let's say they are pushing her, right? It's not really working anyway, because at the end of the day, people still have to like the content. It has to get watch time.
No, and I disagree. I completely disagree. You think that, dude? They try to give like who's the black guy who's a cock that punched the other dude? Will Smith. They gave him like a YouTube channel and they tried to astroturf it, and that's still Will Smith, one of the most successful black actors in American history, still has a dead ass YouTube channel regardless of how hard they push it. You cannot try and get this like they can try and get a couple thousand.
Well, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. You have to make good content at the end of the day. Like you have to make good content.
Yeah.
You can't just
I mean, I don't know. Like, you say that. I don't follow it closely. The last video I watched was literally a video about how intense his prostate orgasms were, and it's just like. I don't.
Prostate orgasms were, and I didn't watch that video. I avoided it because I don't want to hear about that stuff. But you know, more power. Listen, I'm gonna correct every time you bring up the proper pronouns. I'm gonna correct you. I'm the libtard of this stream. Okay, I'm gonna be libtarding this shit up. You can do you. I do appreciate you avoiding the slurs. That's very courteous to me.
Trying my best.
But yeah, where are you in Minecraft, Josh? Where are you, buddy?
I'm in my pit. I'm digging a hole. This is what I do every game. I build a hole down to the earth, where I will find my people.
You just go down there with the rats or whatever. Is that a metaphor for your life?
No, I'm just digging a hole. I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy.
Crawling down with the cretins. Yeah. Table on the floor. That's a little bougie, don't you think?
It's just where I put it.
A little bougie. All right, here we go. We're gonna go down to the bottom. So I'll help you. Okay, we're in this together.
Okay.
This is Americana, working together to solve a problem.
I don't know if Keffals will want to talk to you after talking to me.
I think probably not, but if she still wants to, I'll have the conversation. I mean, the thing about it is like I would understand. Like I think it would be, you know, Keffals will do whatever she wants. I think she's kind of out there in terms of how she acts, but I would understand if she didn't want to talk to me after this if I was like talking to you about how I hate trans people. But the thing about it is like, no, I'm totally interested.
Have you ever seen that video of Keffals talking to Stardust?
Yeah, I have, and the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like it might, you know, that's probably the reaction I'm gonna get, but I don't know that.
That's a stupid cunt, Turkey Tom. Oh my god, you have to denounce Kiwi Farm anytime it's brought up. Actually, you know what? That might not apply to you because you're not a woman. I think that kind of unique vitriol is reserved for people who are born a woman.
Well, I think she's probably gonna. Her and her fans are gonna call me either like a crypto fascist or a centrist. And the thing about being called a centrist is they see that as an insult, but like I'm kind of okay with being called a centrist because
here's a
so
pro tip
gay to the average person.
The left-right dichotomy is complete fiction. We have entered a stage in our society where there are insane people, and there's everybody else, and everyone else has to figure out some sort of, you know, you have that political compass quadrant, has to find a cross quadrant alliance.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about, like, when I say centrist, I don't mean politics. I mean more like, although I guess I did mention the far right thing, but what I mean more is that like my take on Kiwi Farms and everything is not like one way or the other totally. Like even with Keffals, like I'd say I'm more sympathetic to her than a lot of the people in my audience, and I'm definitely more sympathetic to her than you are. Well, because I try to understand both sides. I'm like Boogie. Okay,
Boogie, explain this to me.
Okay, let's say I'm Keffals. Okay, let's say I'm Keffals. I'm someone who's a streamer. You know, you have to kind of divorce it from the stuff going after Destiny, but she feels that her identity is being.
You have to divorce it from its actual motivation to make any sense of it, other than the fact that Keffals is a fucking grifter.
Okay, but the thing about people is people don't totally make sense. They're always like hypocritical in some way.
No,
and I just want
people are very easy. You'll be surprised at how obvious a human being is.
Okay, am I obvious, Josh?
I mean, I think you're young, and I think you're a secret optimist. You try to be like, oh man, I listen to like remixes of Green Day and like 9 Inch Nails because I'm a 19-year-old.
Hey, I don't listen to Green Day.
What was that song that was remixed? It was like the other one, the 3 Miles or something, the red one. Look, I should know these bands because they were around when I was young.
What are you talking about? 3 Miles.
It was like a remix of the 3 Stripes.
About the song I was playing.
Yeah. It's like 3 Stripes or something.
Yeah, I was playing The Fray is the band, and it was a Day to Remember cover of The Fray.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I am kind of a doomer in like as far as the state of the internet. I'm an optimist in my personal life because like there are things I want to do and like, you know, family, girlfriend, stuff like that.
When you say the state of the internet, though, it's everything. Everything is poisoned by this kind of fucking reach. I don't know if you're in college or whatever, but I'm sure if you're in college, yeah, based. that's why you're a crypto fascist now, because you didn't go and you didn't get the pause load in your mouth. You've been saved by your own lack of what's the word of ambition.
Well, the thing about college is I was actually going to be a journalist, which is funny, but it just kind of aligned with
so
my,
was Ethan Ralph.
Yeah, hopefully I don't end up where he is though. I'm gonna try not. Okay? Can you explain what's the shit with Digi leaked porn of him and May?
No, it was. Are you talking about like the recent stuff?
I've seen this picture that's obviously her like sucking dick.
It's not. She's eating a taco. Some fucking retards in a Discord group found this video of her eating a taco and cut it out to try and cause drama. It's all kayfabe. Ignore those people.
What the hell? It looked
I would be the first one to epically dunk on May for having revenge porn of her out there.
Why is the frame like above her? Like who was filming above her while she ate a taco?
It could be like when Digibro and her did videos together. she's like the only girl who's ever watched an anime ever, so she's got special girl attention. So it could be, haha, I'm gonna eat a taco gone sexual, that kind of thing. I didn't watch the video. I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah, it's just
okay. So I got kind of distracted with Keffals. I try to see the sympathy. It's like if I'm anyone, right? If I'm Keffals, if I'm someone else, if I, regardless of whether or not the cam girl stuff is like revenge porn, right? Let's say it is public info. Like if I was, in her position, I probably would still want that shit not out there. Like I would be embarrassed as hell about it. I would be doing, things in my power to try to get that removed. Obviously, because I'm me. First of all, I'd never do cam girl, cam guy stuff, whatever. But second of all, I understand that like things on the internet are forever. You can't erase things like that. But from her position, it's like she's going to do everything in her power to get rid of that because it doesn't stand to benefit her recent political Twitch career. You can criticize her all you want for that. I mean, and that's totally fair. But from her perspective, like that's the way she sees it. It's like she wants to remove that stuff. She doesn't want it to be out there. She wants to lie about it, etc.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I mean, when you okay. Wow, that's a bit of a take. Let's unpack this real quick.
Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack this. You're your position here, there's a quote by a Prussian philosopher, Carl Schmitt, who says that there is no such thing as the political. There is simply friend and foe. In politics, you have your friends and you have your foes. That's why the communist USSR can ally with Great Britain to destroy fascism. That's why while you had battalion fascism and you have National Socialism in Germany, completely different things. Most people don't know that because history doesn't teach them that, but they found uncommon alliances in interests. My point is that what you're saying is Keffel's position is that anything goes because it would benefit me in that regard, and that is.
I think that's probably Vosh's position as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're communists, but
I mean it's not just a communist thing. I mean probably someone like let's say Nick Fuentes. He probably feels the same way about.
Yeah, he does. Right? He does absolutely. That's why I think a lot of people are getting swatted because it hurts the site, and the site has a lot of things on Nick Fuentes too. That's just my opinion. I have no evidence for that, but that's what I believe. That sort of position, oh man, would almost be admirable if it wasn't directed at a fucking gossip forum. The fact is that this total war shit where it's like I will literally do like for instance Liz Fong Jones, one of Keffel's old friends, they've split ways because they're both too crazy to talk to each other and keep an alliance going, but Liz Fong Jones is trying to get my internet IP resource allocations revoked by Apnic. Apnic is a company out of Australia.
Yeah, can you explain some?
I will absolutely explain this. I have IP addresses. I get my IP addresses from what's called a regional internet registry in RIR. There are 5 of these. The one that I have my IPs from is in Australia. Australia, the RIR there, Apnic, services all of Asia and Oceania. So Australia, but also China. So Liz Fong Jones is trying to get my resources revoked in the same region that China exists because they want the Kiwi farms taken down. Not realizing, or perhaps do realizing, because they are Chinese, that once they accomplish this, there will be nothing stopping China from making takedown requests for internet resource allocations. And this has never happened before. No IP address has ever been revoked because people didn't like the content on the website. That has literally never happened before. And they're trying to make it happen for the first time in spite of the Kiwi farms. If this was like, for instance, Cloudflare took us down, right? Wow, that was a great victory for them. There are websites that host ISIS decapitations and setting people on fire. There's a website dedicated to torturing baby monkeys. Right now, if you want to go watch a live baby monkey get a hole drilled in its fucking head by absolute psychopaths, there's a website for that. It's hosted by Cloudflare.
This is something I was gonna bring up actually, so I'm glad you mentioned it, because I mean, everyone in my audience probably knows about this because I did a video about the monkey hate stuff. But even YouTube is hosting that stuff right now.
Yeah,
Cloudflare's not gonna drop YouTube.
If these people were like total war site, like we tolerate, there's a group of people who are actually fucking nuts out there called who are like all Chris Hansen imitators, and they all want to be like the next Chris Hansen.
Yes, I know,
and we tolerate them even though they're fucking crazy, and they often go after and do completely illegal and psychotic things after these people. We tolerate them more because they have this like scorched earth policy on pedophiles, and if it was anybody else, if they were going after anybody else, they would just be Keffels. They would be fucking lunatics.
Well, so, here's the thing with your site. I guess I would want to question is, like, you said you didn't want to make moral judgments on the content of the site. Would you remove like monkey hate stuff if people were making let's say for some reason the monkey haters decided Kiwi Farms is a good place to make our own thread to talk about how we hate monkeys.
Well, I don't. Like for instance with like the zoo sadist stuff, when there was the big leaks that got Kiro the Wolf and his buddies who were fucking dogs, and there was one guy in particular who was fucking a dog to death with a wooden stake covered in ants. He was Cuban, and we found out where he was, and now nobody knows what happens to him. The government got him, and that's the last thing anyone's heard of it. So whatever happens to people who fuck dogs to death in Cuba has happened to that guy. But yeah, we allowed hosting that because it's like a historical document. We have photos of the Holocaust. Should we like delete photos of the Holocaust because we don't like the Holocaust? What? At some point, we have to make a judgment call that yes, we're going to allow bad things to proliferate, and we do in regards to certain content.
Are you going to allow them to? But is that letting them proliferate, or is that for documentation purposes? Because one of the strongest arguments I've seen for the site is that you guys are dedicated to documenting everything, and it's important to have archives and documents, especially, in an age when, everything can be documented more easily than ever before, right, with the internet. like, some people feel a responsibility to keep that history somewhere.
Ultimately, it's a site for talking about people. So there are certain rules that I have in place in regards to keeping the community focused on talking about people. I don't allow on the Kiwi Farms. I do not allow outside of very specific contexts as lolicon or any kind of animal abuse. Like in the Russian war thread, we have videos of like Russians and Ukrainians that have been casualties of the war.
Yeah,
it is sort of like a judgment call, but it's not for the morality of the image itself. It's that I don't want these fucking people on my website. It's definitely more of a community thing than it is simply the nature of the image itself.
Someone in chat said archive monkey murder. That makes no sense. Well, the only way to get those people caught is if you have like the evidence of them abusing an animal in the first place, right?
And so we have people going to jail in Indonesia because the monkeys that they torture all come from Southeast Asia. So it's important when, for instance, when you want to go after child pornography, when you want to go after animal abuse, you have to find the people actually doing it. You can't just find the people posting it online. You have to find the people who are actually hurting kids, hurting monkeys, and you have to take them away from society, and you have to make their efforts unprofitable.
Okay. And that is, I mean, one of the things, obviously, when I talk about Kiwi Farms, usually the site always comes up in one way or another if we're talking about animal abuse, if we're talking about like zoophiles, some kind of internet pedophile. Usually the site comes up because it seems to be the only place that documents all these things well. Minus, I guess,
and that's sort of the draw.
And the YouTubers that do it get their info from Kiwi Farms.
Yeah, and they don't mention it because they can't mention it without getting backlash for mentioning it. And then even though, like, when all these Tumblrites who hate the Kiwi Farms, when it comes time to post receipts about their favorite person who just got caught grooming, a 15-year-old, they break their rule. They go to the site and they talk about the stuff they see on the site, but they don't talk about where it comes from and stuff. And it's just like, I know what they do.
Well, I guess that's the thing with every YouTuber. It's like, I feel like I get why people don't want to talk about Kiwi Farms at all, but the reason why I credit the site is because it's like, well, I did get my info there. Like, at the end of the day, probably with some of the research I've gotten there, it's literally made me like tens of thousands of dollars a month. Like, I feel like I have some obligation to at least hear your side, talk to the guy who runs the site.
And
even if I don't agree with it, and I'm going to be correcting you on the pronouns every 5 minutes, I feel like I should. I don't know. I feel some obligation to speak to you in some way.
And the frustrating thing, like when you are in my position, it's sort of important to try and keep a level head about certain things. And one of those things is to try and rein in any kind of envy, because it is frustrating. Like, I know for a fact, based off the numbers that I had available to me when I was allowed to have like AdSense and stuff, because there was a point where I was able to have AdSense. If the Kiwi Farms was allowed to be monetized like a normal website, I would probably make in the realm of $20,000 a month easy just from the site.
Yeah.
And it's like all of my issues, all the struggle that I go through would be alleviated so much if I could just have what everybody else had. So it is
even 20,000. Like, that's what I make in an off month. Like that's like a low month for me
even when you don't put out videos and shit.
No, I mean, I'm always putting out videos. What I'm saying is like my best month last year was 80,000.
That's pretty good. I hope
it's like, if you're in your position, I would be like, holy shit.
Have you like contacted like financial people to like if you look for financial help, you should be investing the money in a way that like benefits you, but you should look into what's called a fiduciary. They are people who are legally obligated to have your financial interests in mind. If you talk to someone who's just a quote unquote financial expert, they often work for a company and try to sell you that product. So if you're going to like try and protect your money, you should look for what's called a fiduciary, because those people are legally obligated to represent your financial interest.
Yeah.
And not
I have a very close family member who is he has like kind of a job, so he's been helping me out a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I talked to him a little bit, but yeah, I mean, but yeah, the thing is, I mean, for you, I guess my question would be like, are there other ways you could monetize a site? I'm sure it's something you've thought about.
I don't want to talk too much about the finances of the site, because they more than anything else, they go after that, because obviously if you run them, Bitcoin is super important, and it's very frustrating to see how much shit Bitcoin gets as like like people automatically associate it with like a scam or whatever. Bitcoin has been incredibly important to the site staying up because it's effectively the only way that I'm allowed to collect money these days.
Okay. Have you thought about like I'm trying to think like other ways you could potentially bring in some revenue? I mean, obviously ads are out of the question for you, right? But
the main issue is that so here's
I mean 4chan has ads.
4chan is very censored. 4chan does not allow docs. If you try to post, for instance, about Isabella Yanka on 4chan, you will immediately be banned. You'll be permanently banned from 4chan if you post about Isabella Yanka.
Yeah. Someone's trying to take down my video about her right now, repeatedly, constantly.
Yeah, it's a group that they pay money for. I get emails from them constantly. I get privacy complaints via Google. I think that the board may be de-indexed. But Daddy's Isabella Yanka, the little girl who decided to murder hamsters and encourage Chris to fuck his mom. That little girl is the daughter of an FBI or a CIA agent, retired contractor working for the CIA. And if you Google Yanka Cloudflare, you'll find a video of Matthew Prince sitting next to the person whose daughter boiled hamsters alive and spoke to Chris Chan months before Cloudflare kicked us off of their service. And I'm sure that there's no coincidence between the CIA agent sitting next to the CEO of Cloudflare, Matthew Prince, and talking.
Yeah, that would be crazy, Josh. Don't be conspiratorial. But yeah, I mean, I've been getting on my Yanka video. Is it Yanka or Janky? Maybe
Yanka.
That's the real.
I'm pretty sure.
Is that Polish or something?
German. Pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Imagine being German. Okay.
I know, that's the worst. Every time I see a German, I get freaked out. A shiver goes up my spine.
I actually do because I hate their accent. It's so like, like yay.
Oh yeah.
But I have to like respect them somehow because I have a very douchey taste in cars and I love German cars. So if you ever see these like Pajeets running around in their BMWs, like that's basically me.
Are you a Pajeet?
No, but I like their taste in cars, which is like BMW and Audi. Anyhow, so the thing about that is I keep getting privacy complaints in my video. The first one they sent was a long time ago, and I just ignored it and nothing happened. And then I got another one, and it was so the video was like 28 minutes and 17 seconds long. It's like a 28 minute long video about Isabella. Or sorry, yeah, it's like 23 minutes long. And it's like it's got like 2 million views, and it's like the most popular. Like if you search up Isabella Janky, like that's the first result. Like it's gonna come up. And so I keep getting privacy complaints. The first one was for like 30 seconds longer than the actual length of the video, which is really weird. Like they didn't properly timestamp it. When you submit a privacy complaint, you have to submit like here's the portion of the video I want cut out from YouTube, right? And that's the portion that the YouTube rep will review to see if it violates your privacy. They timestamp more than the length of the video, which is funny. And then so that time I sent an email to YouTube and I literally explained like who Isabella Janky is. And I was like, this is all public information. Like I didn't include her address or anything. Like everything in this is like public info. She herself.
Let me find this real quick. I know what you're talking about. There's this guy. They definitely are paying these quote unquote SEO experts to help clean up her results so that she has some semblance of a life. She should not be employed by anyone. As far as like people should be completely blacklisted and not allowed anywhere near any kind of respectable institution. Hamster murderer, motherfucking encourager, Isabella Yanka should be basically excised from.
She is trying
trying very hard, probably will succeed because of people who say doxing is bad, so we have to make sure that everyone has total control over their personal information, even if they boil hamsters alive and encourage retarded people to fuck their moms. We have to be able to make sure people can clean that up. Removal of copyright information. Wait, hold up, let me read this. Takedown expert from takedownexpert3@gmail.com to legal@kiwifarms.net. Removal of copyright and defaming content. Signature Saghir Ahmad. Content in question. Forums/IsabelLoretta-Yanka.117. Description: I am writing this to let you know that I am authorized to file a legal lawsuit in court against. Oh wait, creeper.
Yo, what did you just do?
I almost got blowed up.
Did you blow up the house or something?
No, I blew up a hole in the ground.
Oh, what the it fucked up the. Okay, I actually didn't really fuck up the path.
I got out of the way. Okay.
All right.
I didn't go ack. Okay. Website for defaming my client, Isabella Yanka, by sharing false and baseless allegations. The allegations include sexual assault, money theft, in many defamatory accusations without providing any proper evidence, which is a clear violation of the DMCA Act. Which, if you don't know, the DMCA Act, the DMCA, I'm pretty sure the A in the DMCA is Act. So it's the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act specifically excludes any sort of defamation on the internet. And by defamation, they mean things they don't like being public. The article also sharing private informations of my client by sharing his, I guess Isabella is now a transgender, address and place of work, which is causing deep concern to my client and his whole family. So this is probably Mr. Yonka, former CIA agent who sits next to Matthew Prince on a couch and talks about how things need to be censored by Cloudflare more often. Therefore, I request immediate removal of this defamatory article from your website. I have also reported to the hosting provider of this website. I am expecting quick action very soon. Otherwise, I reserve my right to file a defamatory lawsuit in court. Regards, Zakir Ahmad.
Yeah, I mean, Zakir Ahmad. I like that the email too was like take down expert. Like they just use their normal work email.
This fucker Googled how to take shit down from Gmail and found this shit.
Email them, ask them.
Ask them. I did. I literally emailed him. Tell your client he shouldn't have raised an animal murderer and he's a fucking psycho. Actually, that's not the email that I was thinking of. I sent one saying, how much did they pay you for this? Just wondering. And he didn't reply. He replied to neither of those emails.
What the hell? Damn. Well, I guess my question for that would be, how do you even... You must get a lot of legal complaints, I assume. Is the site being sued right now?
By 2 different people.
Okay. How do you deal with that? You just deal with a lawyer and...
Hire a fucking attorney. It's always a pro se bullshit lawsuit, but I have to answer it in court or they can win a default judgment. Pro se litigants, I think if you file a lawsuit pro se and lose, you should be strung up by your thumbs out of a fucking window until I'm satisfied by hearing you scream. I think that should be the punishment. Like, I can't deprive you of your right to represent yourself, but there should be some sort of dissuasive option that I have when you lose. Because the thing is, the United States is the only country in the entire world where if you sue somebody and lose, you bear your own costs. So here's a fun tip for all you people out there right now. You can file bullshit lawsuits all day long, and if you lose, like, and you don't have to hire an attorney, you can just sign yourself. And if you sue a company, fun fact, people can't represent their own companies by themselves, even if you are the only member of an LLC. So you find, like, let's say that your landlord owns an LLC and you want to sue your landlord. You can file pro se against your landlord's LLC, and then they can't even represent themselves in court because they're not a lawyer, and therefore they cannot represent something that's not themselves, including their own company. So our court system is completely fucking broken. I cannot like really stress enough how broken it is that these, and it's no sane person ever becomes pro se. Like, this is an option basically created so that fucking lunatics can waste the time of and money of absolutely everyone and basically ruin an otherwise legitimate business through court cost alone. So you either have to be a charitable organization that can find, pro bono help for what you're doing, or you have to eat shit. And thankfully, I have managed to find lawyers who work very, very cheaply for the amount of time that they have to invest in dealing with this shit.
Yeah, the whole I can just imagine, like, I've only had one legal issue and it hasn't been YouTube related. I was just like going too fast or whatever, but it was a speeding ticket. I had to hire. No, I got a criminal charge for criminal speeding because I was going rather fast, but I had to hire a lawyer, and the entire time it was just like hanging over my head for like months, like the entire process. And so I can only imagine like being sued by someone when you're trying to run a website would probably make me shit my pants. I recently even I canceled a video I was going to do about, you know who Billy Mitchell is?
Vaguely. I'm aware.
He's like I'll explain to chat. He's this video game dude from the 80s or whatever.
Oh, the fucking the Donkey Kong wizard who sues when people say he didn't win that fucking that fucking guy. That guy, that's a prime example, chat. You have to remember that we can't just handle things in court. People like him need to be hung out a fucking window by their thumbs until they're satisfied that the damage they're causing people over their a Donkey Kong competition. Nobody gives a fuck, Billy Mitchell.
Well, that's
nobody
the thing.
fucking
It's like,
cares.
You say nobody gives a fuck, but he will sue you for $1 million.
Yeah, that's
like,
bullshit.
I mean, I have some money, but like, I don't have $1 million if I were to lose. And even if I even if I were to win, it's like that's like 3 years of my life that is like gone to like,
Yeah.
first of all, being sued by him and then
Okay.
hopefully counter suing him.
Yeah, it's fucking nauseating. These people disgust me. They literally disgust me. People like Keffel, Billy Mitchell, and all these retards who sue over absolutely nothing. They have no claim to actually base.
Has Keffel sued anyone?
They threatened to. I think that they talked to a lawyer and realized that it would cost $75,000 to go to court, and they would probably lose because there's no actual thing. They said it wasn't worth it. But
yeah, I know. Destiny was going to sue her, but decided not to.
What a bitch! I hate that. Destiny's such a.
I mean, okay. The thing about him is, I think you have to understand from his point of view. It's like, if she's not actively going after him, if the slander or whatever has stopped, and maybe he realized that like these mainstream articles, which his main contention seemed to be that there were a lot of mainstream articles that were citing the Keffel stuff. But if those people aren't talking about him, then it's like, is it worth taking up like years of his life to like take?
It's not about the money. It's about sending a message when people.
Well, for him, it is about time and money. It's about time. And
money. Okay, then you know what? He can spend his entire fucking life on his knees. He can sell his wife to whoever the fuck is the highest bidder. He can make his life as min-maxed about money and efficiency, but he has the opportunity. He has a legitimate position here to set precedent and to punish people for hurting people, basically. And he's going to decide not to because he's just like, I would rather just sit on my ass and play fucking video games every day and occasionally debate some fucking retard about bullshit that nobody fucking cares about. He has no position.
That is his decision. That's what he wants to do.
Well, it's pathetic, and I try to. Destiny sometimes comes out and does things that I find very admirable, and then I try to like him. I really do. I've tried listening to him. I've tried talking to him, and it's just like, this is a guy who has no backbone. This man should be bullied. He's a little manlet. He's in a little world, and as long as he has pornography and food and shelter, he will be very happy to just sit around and suck dick his entire life.
Have you guys ever talked?
I've tried. I can't remember the context. I've sent him emails. The first email contact I ever had was someone told me that he was a white supremacist, so I joined his Discord server, and then
you asshole.
I was immediately banned by someone with a communist avatar, and I emailed him like, what the fuck is with this mod? And he said, haha bro, epic memes, so funny, haha, like almost word for word that. And then I tried to message him later on, saying, because the site was completely down. It was like, I said I was never going to talk to him, but the site was completely down. I said, fuck it, I don't have to worry about the site right now. So do you want to talk? And he never replied, because at that time he was very busy entertaining a pedophile that he had as his best friend. So I couldn't fit into his dick sucking contest to appease this pedophile enough to have a conversation with. Thankfully you're not intertwined with such complexities in scheduling.
Courtney in chat says Destiny subreddit is cucked. Josh is right about that. I don't know. I'd argue that Destiny does. He holds his convictions better than pretty much most people online. I mean, I know his
convictions.
I mean, he's a libtard, but he's had huge falling outs with people like Hassan and Bosch over disagreements. I mean, he's lost his Twitch because of his stance on the trans stuff. You know what I mean?
That's why I try to like him, but
opinions.
He's just a retard. I've tried my best, but
like, I think if you guys talked, okay, you'd be best friends. In no time, you'd be hanging out. It'll be just like 10 years ago when you guys used to play StarCraft. Okay, it'll be the same.
Oh yeah, exactly. I miss our days playing the toss and tossing the Zerg together. We were the best. That was
one of the more frustrating things for me about Keffels was that like. That one was like something she admitted was a flat out lie.
Constantly trying to implicate Destiny in my affairs by saying that we were BFFs tossing Zerg together. Dude, they do the minimum amount of research possible. I get emails from actual journalists who get paid. They get paid a living wage. They don't have to like eat shit and like strip on the side to make their money to live. They get paid a living wage. And they have no fucking idea about anything they talk about. And it's just like, this is not fair. And this is proof that we don't live in a just society. Because in a just society, people like this would have to be in the streets, writing their articles and publishing them for free on some Substack or whatever the fuck. But they get paid by Mother Jones, and they're this stupid.
They get paid, but as someone who's going to journalism school and was like meeting people who were journalists and like like asking, like finding out how much they make. Like they make a living wage, but it's not it's like 35,000 a year.
Good.
Or 40,000 a year.
They don't even deserve that. They should be on welfare.
Especially where they live in like Connecticut, New York. Like it's not
amazing. Yeah, I hope they're miserable, and I hope that they suffer through life.
They probably are, and that's ultimately why, like, half the reason why I decided not to go to journalism school was just because, like, I probably would hate myself forever if I was a journalist. Not just because of the work, but like, if the work sucked, I could live through that. If like the pay was really good, but the pay is like less than acceptable to me. So it's like, no, fuck no. I gotta be a YouTuber.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they suck, and the thing is that they're not journalists. A journalist does not exist anymore. The modern journalist is not a journalist. The modern journalist is a corporate pawn that takes narratives from the top down and finds enough glue, enough bullshit to stick together the pieces. And that's it. That's the
I would argue that stuff like what I do is journalistic. I wouldn't want to call myself a journalist for the cringe factor alone, but I would say that what some YouTubers do is replace the role of a modern journalist.
Yeah, of course. That's why the media is failing. That's why nobody watches news. It's because I would much rather pick my mouthpiece. I would much rather see the sources myself. And then you watch CNN and there's all these clips of CNN saying, remember, it's like when the Clinton shit came out in the 2016 election. They said, remember, it's illegal, lying, saying it's illegal for you to download the Clinton emails. We do that for you so we can tell you what's in them. And it's like, how do people hear shit like that and think, yeah, I trust this fucking idiot?
I think for people like let's say my dad's generation, who's like Gen X, like born in like early 70s, it's just kind of like that's the status quo. That's just kind of what you trust. Even someone like him, who like is probably you would say is more conservative, like he trusts Fox News. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of it's just because that's the status quo. He's been exposed to that for so long. He and the Boomers, like Gen X and the Boomers, they grew up watching TV. It's just kind of a comfortable thing. And it's just kind of how life is. You just kind of implicitly like you're like even when they like distrust the media, they're gonna distrust CNN, but then trust like Fox. They're gonna trust Breitbart or whatever. There's gonna be someone that they turn to.
Here's a boomerism to take for all the little kids listening. Everybody you talk to ever has an agenda. I have an agenda. Turkey Tom has an agenda. Capitals has. Everybody you talk to has a specific point of view and something that they're trying to impress on you with. You should be inherently critical of everybody you listen to. Why do I say that? And ask yourself, when you hear something, when you assume something can be true, why do you assume it's true, and why are people telling you that? I'm telling you that because I have been utterly betrayed by everybody in the system, in the apparatus that governs us. So I'm trying to sow the seeds of doubt and dissent in the common person, in the childs who play Minecraft, because I need people to grow up not trusting the current power structure. But like, you have all these debates about shit, and now they're trying to like ban people on YouTube who say like the moon landing was fake, and it's like, how do you know the moon landing was real? Really, honestly, like, do you know that the Earth is a sphere? How do you prove that? There are ways that you can prove for yourself that the Earth is round, involving taking planes to see where the sunset is and at different altitudes and stuff. There are ways to do that, but do you know them? You were just told all these things that you believe, and you just accepted them because they came from people that you trust, and you don't actually understand the underlying logic that leads you to that conclusion. It's called a presupposition, and your entire worldview is based on these presuppositions. Everything that you think you know is based off some bullshit, possibly bullshit, complete fabrication that you were told years ago that you just accepted as true. And I wish it used to. It's so frustrating because the most American thing you could be was to hate your government. Like, that was the thing. The U.S. is a free country, but our government is evil. And now it's like everyone trusts the science and trusts the politicians and trusts.
Wouldn't you say that people are waking up a little bit though? Like in my generation,
yes.
I think they are.
Yeah,
like the Zoomers. I mean, your contention with them would probably be that they're more left wing instead of right wing, and I think you probably would have an issue with that. But I would argue that it's good either way. I mean, people do distrust the government. They distrust the CIA. They know that the CIA killed Martin Luther King or whatever. They know that they killed JFK. They are waking up.
Not only did the CIA kill JFK, they killed JFK because he was trying to remove power from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve issues all your money. The Federal Reserve is a private organization. They claim that they're government run, but that's because the government owns a minority share of the Federal Reserve. They're owned by the banks. JP Morgan Chase owns most of the Federal Reserve. So the fact is that our entire economy is based around a figment of your imagination. A dollar has no actual intrinsic value, and it's based off the fact that JP Morgan Chase prints all the money that they want to. And when JFK wanted to take that and put it back in the hands of the Department of Treasury so that it is a purely government-run organization and not one that's privately owned in part, they killed him. And then the next guy who came in, Lyndon B. Johnson has a very famous quote, by the way, of saying, "I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 100 years." He passed migration laws, which permanently changed the demographics of the United States.
That? Those N-words?
Yes, he said that. That's it's in a biography somewhere. He was the vice president of JFK, so that when JFK was assassinated, he was automatically president when nobody would have voted for JFK or Lyndon B. Johnson by himself. Point is that they killed him. They undid all his changes to the Federal Reserve and the Department of Treasury, and they put in a guy who altered the demographic makeup of the United States so that one political party would win every single time, and that's exactly what happened. The United States was silently taken over by a complot of very rich and influential people, very powerful people, and me saying this is no threat because they don't care. They just don't give a fuck. It's like they already won effectively in their mind.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of over, you know.
No, it's never over because it's a small group of people and a lot of people that they want to rule over, and I don't think nothing lasts forever. The Roman Empire lasted for 250 years. The U.S. Empire is going on 250 years now, and it's like there's never been a unified government that has lasted for, you know, there's never been a 1,000-year Reich. Okay, everything.
We all moved to Serbia.
I'll come back to the U.S. one day. I'm not going to say.
Why do you live there? I actually don't even know the lore.
I moved to Ukraine because I was so poor, because I was so disenfranchised from any kind of financial system that I could only make money through Bitcoin. And I moved to Ukraine because the cost of living is extremely cheap. And then I've just kind of stayed in Europe ever since.
If I had to flee anywhere, it would be Bulgaria because my mom is from there, so I'd have to go there.
Bulgaria is very nice. Sofia is a beautiful city. It's in the EU though, so be careful. But it's, as far as the EU goes, it's one of the least shitty places in Europe.
My mother's from Burgas. That's where she's from, so that's probably where I'd go. Go to the village, the countryside. Beautiful.
Hey, I mean, you could probably retire and do that right now if you wanted to.
Yeah, but I don't want to retire. I actually like working, so I wouldn't do that. All these fuckers on YouTube, they're like, I'm gonna retire when I'm like 30. It's like, what are you gonna do for the rest of your life? What would you do if you retired right now, Josh? Like, what do you even? I guess maybe you don't want to talk about your personal life too much, but I can't imagine what I would even do.
So
if I just didn't work.
Are you saying is this like a position where I have like $100 million and I can do whatever I want, or is this like?
Yeah, let's say maybe not 100 mil, but let's say you had enough that like you could spend 50 grand a year.
I would buy a bunch of acres in some shithole state, and I would become an agriculturalist.
Really? You'd be a farmer? I would be an actual farmer?
Yes, I would become an actual farmer.
What the hell? Damn. What would you grow?
Banana peppers. I would pickle banana peppers, and I would be the best. It would be a famous brand of banana peppers that everyone would love and respect.
From your streams, didn't you grow those or something? Didn't you grow the peppers?
I did. I was living in an apartment and I had a balcony, and I literally put
Wasn't there a bird or something? I remember some bird thing.
There was they laid pigeon eggs in my banana pepper potted plants, and I did not murder the pigeons in cold blood. I actually saw the life cycle of 2 pigeons blossom, and they flew away from my balcony one day and left behind a big potted plant bowl-size bowl of shit for me to clean up.
Was it beautiful? Did it make you want to have kids? Did it inspire you? Like
it was beautiful.
Like Tony Soprano watching the birds.
Of course, I'm proud of my pigeons. Everybody's proud of their pigeons, regardless of what they say.
Guys, can I get some W pigeons in chat? W pigeon, please. W pigeon in chat, guys.
Is that a thing? Like Zoomers only communicate in W and L, right? Everything is WL.
I mean, I don't, or I didn't until like now, but now that I'm streaming, I feel like it's rotting my brain, and this is just like there's no actual statements. It's all W pigeon. Chat is going crazy, yo. What's up, guys?
Look, everybody loves animals. That's another thing. You have to, if you want to be a real human being, you have to learn how to take care of shit. Especially if you're a man. Here's a trip for all your men listeners who are thinking, I might try to be a real man, or I might like become a eunuch. Try to take care of a potted plant. If you can show women that you can take care of things without them dying, it helps. Well, they respect that.
All right, Josh, we have a special guest on stream right now. Do you mind? My Oh, you don't want to? Okay. I thought my girlfriend wanted to talk to you. She made a video of you, Josh, that says "I love Null" on it, and it has like this song.
What?
It's like,
is that a joke?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a joke, but I mean, it's just a video. I feel like you should see it at some point.
Okay, send me my love letter. I'll take a look at it when it's more convenient. Does she agree with my take that if imagine you have two scenarios, girlfriend of Turkey Tom. You walk into a guy's house, it's all like desolate and shit. It's completely clean. It's not like a pigsty. It's just like a desolate like solo men's like dormitory or whatever the fuck. But then you go to this other guy's house and he has a potted plant and it's thriving. Which one is more attractive to you? Just instinctively.
Hey, girlfriend, Josh has a question. So
you didn't have to repeat myself?
No. I'll say it. I'll say it. Would you prefer to go to a man's apartment that's like empty and desolate, or go to a man's apartment that has a nice, taken care of potted plant? Do you want there to be a potted plant in my apartment? Is it empty and there's just a potted plant? That's her clarifying question.
He has like he has very little furniture because he's poor, but he has like a nice IKEA like table, and there's like a little succulent that's growing and it's doing pretty well.
All right, he said there's some nice IKEA furniture and there's a little succulent that's doing well. That was the word he used, succulent.
If the man was your apartment, you can't take care of anything. It would be bad.
Okay, she just told me, all she said is I would kill the plant.
This is an evaluation. In her head, she's thinking, this is a man who can't take care of a potted plant. What are my prospects with him? He is he's a plant murderer. If I somehow become impregnated, I cannot trust this man to take care of a baby because I have seen him try to take care of a plant, and lo and behold, the plant died. Whether or not either of you are aware of this, she is making judgment-based decisions about your character and your.
When you bring girls over, do you show them your plant?
Of course, I show them my banana peppers and pictures of my pigeons and what I name them. I give them a full background.
Your birds. They're like first date. You bring them over for pizza day.
Yeah, and then there's it's cute because there's a language barrier. You try to use words that they may not know, and then
Where the fuck are you, Josh? I just teleported to you. Where are you?
I'm in a hole. I'm continuing my voyage into the hole.
Man. Like you just went down in here,
Of course.
Someone says a W Riz. Do you have W Riz, Josh?
What's a W Riz?
So Riz is like charisma. People say Riz. So say you have W Riz if you can if you're good with a girl, if you're suave.
What is wrong with you? Why can't look, we have this language. It's called English. It's been around for thousands of years. There are so many words that are so long and complicated, and when they orate them correctly, people are like, wow, that sounds really elegant and nice and well thought out. And then y'all are just like, shit.
It's not what you just said. You have L Riz. L Riz.
Yeah, man, that's some L Riz right there. That's a big old L. Can you stop?
L Riz. Kiwi Farm says L Riz, guys. It's the biggest criticism people should have of the site. L Riz. Cis white meme says screw what women think, just go MGTOW.
Oh no, dude. If you listen, there is a real incel to eunuch. I don't know what word I'm allowed to use because you told me not to use any of the words. There's an incel to eunuch pipeline. So when you start saying nah, I ain't gonna grow no fucking potted plant. I'm just gonna MGTOW. There is some okay. Listen, with the MGTOW thing, the truth to MGTOW is that anytime I've ever had success with women, I was doing my own thing. I was focusing inwards, and then I had happenstance meetings with women, and because I was already preoccupied and it was a natural occurrence, it was a more easy hit off.
It's very bad to seem desperate if
yes,
the focus is getting a girlfriend.
If you're desperate for a woman, women can smell desperation in a man like a dog can smell a cadaver buried 8 feet under like a buried skunk. Okay, they are by evolution, by necessity, trained to identify weak, pathetic, groveling people, and you never want to be that. So
I think they also even beyond the evolution thing, it's even if you're a man, imagine if the girl that you're trying to date just wants a boyfriend and she doesn't particularly care that it's you. That would be a really shitty feeling, as opposed to if the girl wants if the girl wants you, then that's particularly
I mean, nice. guys will fuck anything. It doesn't really work.
Well, okay, but that's fucking. I'm talking about actually dating. You know what I mean? If you're going at it with a level head, like, you know, trying to actually have a successful relationship. You don't want to be dating some woman who just like could interchange you with anyone else.
You don't. Being desperate in general is a sign that you are not in a position in your life where you can take care of yourself, and nobody, like, people have a hard enough time doing that already. So nobody wants to take on like a project, and some women do, but then they learn that when they take on a project that the guy
sucks.
Yeah, they regret it, and then the guy like becomes too attached to her because she's tried to help, and then they want to like kill her and wear her skin. So evolutionarily speaking, there's a reason why people are like that.
Guys, listen, MGTOW talk with Josh, Red Pill talk with Josh.
Just don't. The thing is that I truly believe that a relationship between a man and a woman is very important to the health of people. I think that people who grow up in their 40s and 50s and they think like, I can always, you know, become a player.
I don't need no man.
Men and women. If you're like 40 years old and you're like, I'm still at the prime of my life, I'm not going to hitch myself to some hoe. I'm going to do whatever. Like, those type of guys are equally pathetic as the fucking cat ladies who are like, I don't need no man. I'm a strong, independent woman. People need to be in relationships. They need families. If you turn 40 and you have all this wealth and success and you have like nothing to do with it, you're going to become very depressed. And I've seen it happen time and time again. So don't. It's very popular to just like hate.
Even 40 is too late though. You got to have it figured out. I think by like 35.
30,
like,
yeah.
You got to be getting that shit.
You have to, yeah. I mean, you have to be progressing in your life, and it just sucks when you can't play video games and do the stuff that you want to do. But
does that mean that we're gonna see Josh Jr.?
If I have my way with it, no.
Damn. But sometimes, I mean, obviously, you know, whoever you marry is going to want to carry on the Kiwi Farms mantle. So
no,
Josh
I'm saying
Connor Moon too.
When it comes time for that, I will disappear off the face of the earth and nobody will ever find me.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. Damn. Well, that's kind of white pilling. That's kind of nice to hear. Listen, you're not all bad. You're not all MGTOW. You're not all Andrew Tate. I know you actually don't like Andrew Tate based on your stream the other day. I think you called him metrosexual or something like that.
I mean, yeah, he's like trying to impress people by looking like a gay Turkish man. He looks like Xerxes.
He does look like a gay Turkish man.
He looks like Xerxes from 300. I don't know if you've ever watched that movie.
I do. I have seen 300. Yeah.
Good.
This is Sparta.
Exactly. And then there's the guy, and he thinks he's a god, and he doesn't die at the end. He just gets like his cheek cut, but it's like, gods don't. You're a phony. You're not actually a god at all.
Exactly. I'm gonna cook my iron, and then I'm gonna come back to visit you, Josh. All right, listen, I'm not gonna abandon you. I know you've been lonely in this Minecraft world. You've been running away from your problems, but I'm here to comfort you, to make you know that you're loved in Minecraft. Okay.
In Minecraft. Oh, you even built like a furnace house. No, I'm down here. I'm like exploring because I'm a little bit disappointed.
You know how to get back up? That's the real question.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You're trying to get back up?
In a sec. Yeah, I'm just gonna get some iron.
It's just like usually the caves have like water and lava and shit. This is like an icky.
Yeah, this is a new kind of cave.
Icky like hole in the ground.
What?
We're not going out again, like to eat, right?
No.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah. Okay. What are you doing?
Planning the
okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me. I think I got all my shit now. I got my coal. All right. Where are you? Where are you, little Joshy?
I'm above you.
Or above me? Oh shit. Okay. All right. Is that the way out? Up there?
No. You want to get out here? Follow me.
All right. I'll follow you. Should probably read super chats. I've been ignoring them completely.
I also have super chats. Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I'll probably read them at the end though. Once we're done talking, I'll get through them.
I guess I will as well.
So what do you usually stream about? Like I've seen some streams of that guy who like drinks tea and talks about Chris Chan, I think.
You know Samuel?
Yeah, he's like a VTuber cat now, right?
Thank you for showing me the way out. I don't know what he's up to. I don't really watch his stuff. I've never for Chris Chan stuff, I'd rather just like read it than watch like 18 million videos about it. So I've never really watched his videos. I don't really know what
I have stark criticism of his commentary because the story of Chris is very interesting, The main issue is that he has is that it's still unfolding. He was like 90 episodes into his thing when Chris fucked his mom, which kind of changes it would be like if you started doing the Tiger King documentary and then he went to jail like halfway through it, like, oh fuck, this like completely changes like what I'm talking about. This is like the biggest thing in his life so far. He had, but even before then he had the benefit of hindsight for a lot of his documentary, and he made no narrative calls to try and build an interesting story. It was sort of like, this happens and then this happens, and it's like, well,
isn't that his whole thing? Like it's a very boring, dry kind of.
Yeah, but it's like that exists. That's called, that's called the Quickie Forum, or the Quickie. So I thought if you're gonna do a documentary, even if you want to be completely objective, it's like you should be explaining things in a narratively satisfying way that he has opted not to, and I'm not particularly sure why. So in that regard, I'm very like critical of like, why would you intentionally make things less interesting? You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I think that's just kind of he's just kind of in that format now. But people will eat it up regardless. I mean, he gets like pretty good views considering the fact that every video is so just like straightforward and there's no like evolution or anything. Like it's been the same pretty much since the beginning. He gets pretty good views for that, so I guess he's just kind of comfortable in that formula,
But I mean, the content makes itself with Chris. There's a reason why.
Yeah, it's very easy. That's the thing I found. It's very easy to get comfortable with making videos. Like it's easy to like if you're making like 7-8 grand a month, like that's a pretty great income. That's a pretty great income. Okay, you know what? I'll look at this. My girlfriend's asking me about the food she wants me to make her to make me. I have to read this out, guys. I have to read this on stream. Baked mac and cheese. W, guys. Baked mac and cheese. Spaghetti and meatballs. W. Chicken kebabs, rice, hummus, and naan. Well, we're getting
Is this
Middle
like
Eastern.
packaged food, or is she actually gonna make them?
No, she's gonna make it. She's gonna make it. Burgers and homemade fries. W Riz.
That's a lot of work.
Pierogies,
Making like real
Riz.
fries. It's a pain in the ass.
That is a pain in the ass. Well, I think she's homemade fries. Are you actually gonna do that?
My mom knows how to do that.
You have to ask your mom. Steak, asparagus, mashed potatoes. That's gonna be a fire, guys. W Riz dinner.
It won't be that good if it's on the stove.
I think it'll be fine. Thank you. Yeah, that sounds good. Is that what you were trying to ask me the whole time? Is that what you were trying to ask me the whole time you were in here? Oh, okay. Well, I haven't read that off yet. But yeah. But I mean, back to what we're talking about, Mr. Moon.
I'm sure to appreciate
I think it's really
your girlfriend. It's rare to find women that can cook these days. Most just eat hot chip and lie.
Well, she's learning. I think she's learning because she wants to do the trad kind of thing. So
Yes.
she's trying to learn to, and she's doing good. She made a roast recently that I enjoyed. It was good.
What's her phenotype?
Her phenotype?
Yes.
She's Irish and English.
Okay.
Scottish?
Yeah.
Yeah, Irish, English, and Scottish. She's from Canada though.
That's
She's actually
acceptable.
from the same area as Keffels.
Are you Canadian?
Funny. I'm not Canadian. No, I'm from Maine.
Maine. Wow. My grandfather's from Maine. His family spoke Italian while he was a child, but unfortunately doesn't remember any of it.
Oh yeah, I don't speak Italian, but I do live in Maine. But yeah, that's where I'm from. But I think it's really easy to get comfortable. Like I've known a lot of people who get to a certain size on YouTube and they start making money, and they just kind of become complacent and comfortable with where they're at. They don't really care to try to progress.
Yeah, I think that if you want some unsolicited advice, I don't know how applicable it is to you. I would try and find like a plan B, because like from what I've noticed, the reason why all those YouTubers get burned out is because they have this setup where they have a very successful formula, but they get bored of it. They get bored of their own formula eventually, and they are stuck where they try new things and it hurts their, like, actively causes subscribers to leave, and their SEO goes down because their click through is less, and whatever the fuck pisses off the algorithm. It's good to have like a plan B where you have built-in support some other way than just like your primary gig.
Yeah, I do have to figure that out because I've just been going so hard in the paint, so to speak, on YouTube, trying to make that as successful as I can. I mean, thankfully, it's like if it were to die today, like I would have money saved up for a little while. It wouldn't be like immediately over, but
yeah,
I do have to kind of figure out some other kind of like revenue stream.
Yeah, and
for sure.
I'm sure your friends told you this. We need to make sure that you have like X amount of months of living expenses covered, and I'm sure based on what you're telling me that you have a lot of that. But like, Don't do it like Boogie does, where he gambles all his fucking money on cryptocurrency and then buys a Tesla and shit.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but I do understand like I'm very money conscious and like time conscious and aware of the fact that like, you know, like any YouTuber, I'm probably gonna have a limited amount of time where I can do this and like it's gonna make me money. And that's just kind of how it is with any creative thing. Like if you're an artist, like it's
yeah,
gonna be,
I mean, like literally
a limited window.
YouTube can ban you at any time. Like that's the main thing. It's like this is
I'm not so worried about that because I'm pretty careful and I honestly don't.
You got to be worried about it because they like. You say I'm okay with the rules right now. I've always got the thing is that YouTube can change the policies at any time and then retroactively enforce. Like in law, like in a legal system, this is called ooh, I fucked myself by trying to figure out what it was called in Latin, but it's a thing. Ex post facto.
Yeah.
So in law they can't do this where they can just change the shit retroactively and then enforce it ex post facto, but with YouTube the contract says they can terminate you for any reason or no reason at all. So if they change it and then look at your videos retroactively and say, oh, you infringed our current policies in the past, they will just ban you for it and you have no appeals process.
Yeah, I mean that could happen. I'm less worried about that. The thing I'm more worried about and I think is more likely is just like, you know, my content just like doesn't improve that much. It just gets kind of stale, and I just fall off in the traditional sense, you know. And I'm very aware that that could happen, and I'm not, you know, I'm not so egotistical that I don't think that like that could ever be a possibility. And I think a lot of people are, and that's why they get too comfortable. And so that's why I'm always trying to like think of the next step to get to that next level of popularity, that next level of income, because you know you just don't know how long it's going to last, and you kind of have a responsibility to use the opportunity the best you can, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once you have like more free time and you like explore what your interests are and stuff, you can invest in the businesses and things that you would be content managing like after the fact. But yeah,
having a business outside of it is important. That's something I do need to think about. Like
there's a reason why Logan Paul branched. He sucked at it because he fucked up and he made himself look like a retard. But there's a reason why all those people look for things to invest their time into and branch their content with, because they know, everybody knows that Susan is just looking for the reason to lynch you. She will jump at the first opportunity. She gets a thrill, a deep, sick sexual thrill out of ruining the careers of young men who think that YouTube is a reliable platform.
Well, it's not just that. It's also just, I mean, in any job, right? That's like creative, like where you're not, you know, or really just any job in general, it's good to have a backup plan. But especially if you're creative, right? Like all musicians know this. It's like you got to have some kind of backup plan at some point. Whether it's like if you don't make all your money through one avenue, you make it through merch or your website or concerts or whatever. Like if you're in a band, you know that you need to be figuring out multiple avenues to make money and constantly expanding that too. To kind of think like beyond, like, you know, you can't be thinking like, where am I going to be in 1 year? You need to be thinking like, how am I going to set myself up now for the next 10 years? And that's definitely something I'm conscious of all the time and I'm trying to be aware of. But at this point, it's like I'm also I have greater, like, for me to be irresponsible with my platform would, you know, I don't really care about how the audience feels, but at this point I have multiple people working for me who like depend on me for a wage. And so if my channel were to, you know, go under, like they would be out of a job for a while and that would suck. So
yeah, it's stressful when you have like dependents and like people who rely on you to make smart decisions. And when you have that kind of burden, like when you start off and you have like your thing, like I had my forum and I had like this thing. If you ever are in a position where you have like people who rely on you to keep this thing up, you feel really restrained. And I think that's also a thing that a lot of people who are successful long term with YouTube are resentful of, is like losing creative control because you have an obligation to people who are a part of like your program.
I mean that's the thing. You don't want to lose creative control, but in terms of like freeing up responsibility to work on other things, like the reason I'm able to even do these streams right now is because I'm not fucking killing myself working, you know, 50 hours a week trying to make a 40-minute long YouTube video, which I would be otherwise if I didn't have people helping me out. But now that I have them, it's like now I can do these streams and provide more content and, you know, provide more entertainment and stuff.
Why are there like dinosaurs outside? Is this a new thing?
Yeah, so if you don't sleep, they come out, and after like 3 nights they come out. So we got to start sleeping. I think we got to start snuggling up at night, just a little bit.
Can't sleep only at night or during thunderstorms. It is a thunderstorm.
Yeah, we can't sleep now, I think. Is it a thunderstorm or is it just normal rain? I think there's a difference in the game.
Why are the zombies out and the pterodactyls?
They're out because it's raining and that prevents them from the sun, like, hurting them. What is this thing called again? A ghast?
Ghast for the big fat boys in the other.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, what is this called? I used to know. Pterodactyl. Lol. Yeah, but definitely, you know, YouTube important to expand. Do you I guess you probably don't want to talk about it, but are you trying to like expand your kind of services outside of Kiwi Farms, or is it just like your sole focus?
The issue is that I have time constraints. I have my trade is programming, and programming is something that's very hard to motivate yourself to stay in. Like you have to be in the right mind for it, right? So if I program, it's very stressful because if I'm doing something, if I'm programming something that I want to for fun, I feel anxiety because it's like I should be spending this productive time building something for the site, or there are so many things that I would love to build that I never have time for, or I never end up doing. And one of them is I need to replace the forum software because one of the things that I was banned from is from updating Zenforo. So I have to find new forum software. I think that the existing alternatives to Zenforo in the market suck. So I have to literally write my own forum software from scratch. And that is an enormous undertaking, especially from one person. The other thing is now without Cloudflare, I have to kind of roll out my own DDoS protection. And I'm working on that right now. And I've made some good progress with it actually just this week. But I think that what I would like to do long term, if possible, is once I have something working for the Kiwi Farms, I can kind of roll out my own high-risk DDoS protection for people who don't want to support Cloudflare. And ironically, that's something that Liz Fong Jones does through their bullshit company that they use to harass my service providers with. So that's one of the things.
What does like the majority of your day like look like in terms of like work? Do you work like I work like a normal work day?
I am someone who I've never had a very healthy relationship with productivity. I've always, even when I was like a child, I was very bad at schoolwork. So sometimes I will get into a fit. I will have a manic phase. I will sit down and I will program from 8 a.m. till 8 a.m. and sometimes a little bit more, and then I'll go to sleep for like 12 hours and I'll wake up and I'll order something and I'll just keep programming for 24 plus hours at a time. And then after 2 weeks I'll be so exhausted, and then I'll think, you know, I'm gonna take a break. I've been so productive, I'm gonna like play some Dota or something. And then 2 months later I've done absolutely nothing else but play Dota. So I'm only pulled out of that when something happens. If there's like an emergency situation, then my focus, I'm someone who's very motivated by necessity. When necessity strikes and there's like a clear deadline or the clear problem to fix, I will stay locked in on that without complaining, without any issue for months even. Like when the attacks happen and I have to figure out what to do about Keffals and the bullshit, I am zen focused. But when it comes to like self-motivating to make a ambitious goal like a custom forum software come to completion, it's very difficult. I've never, in the time that I've been around, I've never found a healthy way to manage that work.
I'd imagine like anything that's kind of a blessing and a curse, because like you said, when you need to go, when it's go time, like you will get shit done. But otherwise, it's like sometimes the progress can just be slow. I'm someone who my work is very like consistent. Like I work every week, like 9 to 5 roughly. I get things done. I have deadlines that I always meet.
That's great, man. You want to be that person. That's that Donald Trump shit where you get up early and you like just do your work, and then that's the right attitude to have. That's very fortunate to be like that. I don't know what the fuck my issue is. I wish I was a more normal person, but unfortunately, fortunately, I'm insane, and I'm motivated by unknown factors that seem to be almost kind of out of my control.
Yeah, what even does motivate you at this point to keep the site up? Is it out of principle? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's benefited your life in a ton of ways.
I've already said this. I like it. I'm not lying.
I don't think you're lying. It's just like, from my perspective, it's like, okay, if I was you watching all these, like even looking at someone like me who like is a more mainstream kind of figure who has made a ton of money off of the info from your site, like, are you not I don't know, somewhat resent. Like I'd be kind of pissed off. I'd be like, fuck this Turkey Top kid. Like,
I'm grateful when people give credit. That's all I can ask of people. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, shake you down? Because the thing is I don't own the content on my site either. It's by random people. All I do is host it. I'm a curator. I keep the site up and I keep things organized and I keep the community cohesive as best I can. But the fact is, I don't own the information that you use for your videos. I don't even post the information usually that you use in your videos. I just keep the site up. And I would say that, you know, the actual posters are not even any more entitled to money than I would say I am. It's just a story, and thankfully the forum exists as a place where people can talk about things, and then if people want to turn that into a video, then they can. Though to some effect, you have to remember that being able to tell, like, a story of redneck white trash getting married at Las Vegas and having an Elvis wedding is not that funny in and of itself. Being able to take that kind of content and turn it into something that's entertaining that people want to sit down and watch for an hour to 3 hours, like that's a kind of contribution, artistic contribution in and of itself. So to an extent, it's like, yeah, I wish I got paid royalties, but that's not just like, I wish I had that money. It's like, I wish I could use that money to like hire people to work with. You know how nice it would be if I knew like Rust developers who could sit down and like say like, hey, this is what I worked on today. And I'd be like, thanks, let me check your code. I'll do like a code quality check or whatever. And I could like sit down and have these conversations with people developing stuff with me. That would probably help a lot. But hiring developers or even paying, you know, people at all is completely out of my budget. And I feel like the people who want to, you know, people who do good work should be paid for it. So I'm not going to, I've asked people to help me for free, but I can't expect people to help me for free because why should they? I wouldn't help people for free. I've been involved in open source software for basically 10 years. I've never submitted a push to basically anything ever because I have other shit to do. And if I can't do it, I can't expect other people to do it either.
Right. Fair enough. Well, it's very, very mature of you, Josh. Very, I don't know. Good take. I like that. Interesting to hear.
I agree. I don't know if you know your movie sucks, but he has what he considers like a pro art and creativity stance. Where I think that people should be allowed to take things and do what they want with it and remix it how they want because that's healthy. That's healthy for society, for people to have as much free expression and artistic creativity and license as they possibly can.
I do know him actually. He's the only other person that I have added on Telegram. He's the only person who's asked me to use Telegram to talk to him. Other than you.
Surprisingly base of YMS. I wish he would stop posting his BBC porn on fucking Twitter because it's like I want to like Adam so much, but he's like a true like libertarian homosexual where it's just like, bro, this is so embarrassing. I want to.
You can just ignore the BBC stuff and just, you know, I just like, I'm not homophobic really, but I don't want to see that, so I just ignore it. And I just like when I used to talk to him on my old Twitter before I got it suspended.
I just wish more than anything that there were more people who I liked and who I saw eye to eye with on more things, who I could respect personally, who weren't posting themselves getting fucked in the ass by black men on Twitter. It's like, why is there nobody out there like me who is like me? Why is it always like, why is here? Okay, here's a fun question. Why is the racism community so diverse? Why is it gotta be?
Why is the racism community so diverse?
The racism community is the most diverse place.
Is there a racism community?
I'm a proud card-carrying member of the racism community. Many of my fans are too.
Okay, and why is it so diverse? I mean, probably just because like racism is kind of shunned, so people who are racist have to just cling together. What a retarded conversation that you just got me into. I'm sure this will look really great when it's clipped everywhere.
I mean, you look at you look at the Keffels community. You look at the people of gender, and they're all very similar. They all say the exact same things. They all believe the exact same things. They look exactly alike, with some minor disablement separating them in distinction. And you're like, you look at the racism community, and you've got all sorts of people, all walks of life, gay, straight, of different religions, hating each other for a plethora of different, very well researched reasons. And you're thinking, wow, what a beautiful world these racists are. And then you look at the people of gender, and it's just like they're marching in goose step. and down the alley, like for the cause. And it's like, oh, this
sounds like the racism community is more progressive and diverse these days than people of gender.
It truly
is. There you go, Josh. There you go. How heartwarming and wholesome Chungus 100 moment. W Riz.
And you know, the most racist people, they got to learn about other cultures. If you really want to offend somebody on Dota, talking smack to someone, and you see, they're Turkish, you have to know a little bit about Turkey. You have to know who Ataturk is and how to offend the Turkish person. You have to offend Ataturk, and you would only know who Ataturk is if you studied Turkish history. So it makes you a more knowledgeable person.
Oh god, they're back. We need to sleep, Josh. We need to go to sleep, buddy. We need to do it. Just go and come in this house. We got some beds. I'm not hungry right now. Okay, I just ate. Thank you. I'll eat it later. Thank you. We're getting in bed. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm gonna clear the weather. Actually, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Are there? I actually did it already. Did it itself. There we go. Okay. Well, Josh, I don't want to criticize you too much for the Minecraft stuff. I feel like you should build a house at some point, get some.
I was just about to say, I feel like if I played a game of Minecraft and I did not build anything to show that I was here, what have I done?
So exactly.
I'm going to
gotta build a monument to your presence.
I'm going to work on that right now, actually. Oh shit!
People are watching. I haven't checked the live count. There's 1,200 people watching.
On your stream?
This is my most viewed stream ever. Yeah.
I guess I'm a little bit.
I think the flamenco one came close. That was like 1,000.
Oh god, it's embarrassing.
I think.
How do I make bricks? Do I have to use smooth stone for the bricks? That's right. I have to use smooth stone.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, I got confused. My boomer brain.
If you look in the recipe book, like if you go in crafting table and click the book, and then type in what you want, like brick, then it'll tell you how. Tell you what you need. I really add a cobblestone. Put it in there. In here, there is some. There we go.
So, if you were a farmer, right? Just pretend. What animal?
Okay, sure.
What kind of animal would you want to raise?
Well, I like the way pigs taste, so maybe a pig. You're using every furnace? Holy shit, you're going all out. All right.
I gotta do my bricks.
I understand. Maybe you're gonna get bricked up, Josh. Maybe pig, because I like the way they taste. But also, I like cows. I don't know. I mean, just everything. Maybe a turkey. Turkeys will be good.
Dude, okay, here's the thing. If you're listening, you're like, I wanna become like Ted Kaczynski. I wanna hide away in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Chickens are a great way to go, I think. I've done my research into this. Chickens are very low maintenance. They create eggs regardless of what you don't like. For instance, with cows, you have to give them progesterone to keep them lactating. But with chickens, they lay eggs all the fucking time. And then you can make more chickens, and to keep.
They have to fuck though. You gotta have the hen or whatever.
No. Eggs like a chicken are like a woman's period. It's simply a part of the cycle, and they do it whether or not they are sexually active or It's just something that they do. So chickens, turkeys, and ducks actually lay eggs. There's a thing called an Indian running duck that is, it can't fly, so you don't have to clip the wings. So if you're squeamish about gelding an animal, which means to make it a eunuch, you have to make it a pig of gender, for instance, if you want to geld a pig. If you're squeamish about that, I think chickens would probably be a good entry animal for people to raise who are I want to become more self-sufficient and worldly, but I don't want to have to invest myself fully into a schizo lifestyle and learn how to become an agriculturalist.
Chicken seem nice, yeah. It just does. It's something I want to get into. It just seems like a lot of work. And also, you really got to have your own property to do that, and I don't have that right now. So maybe someday.
Yeah, you should look into that. You and your girlfriend progress. You should start looking into getting a house sooner rather than later.
I do stock Realtor.com and Zillow. Where I live is a pretty expensive area, I will say. So it's just I might move somewhere else. But I'm also paranoid about living anywhere but where I live because it's so
Can you say where you're at?
Southern Maine, like near New Hampshire.
Maine is like, dude, Maine has beautiful land for cheap.
Yeah, but that's like in bumfuck nowhere. Like I like to live like somewhat close to civilization.
Nah, bro. As long as you're 30 minutes away from a Walmart, dude, in your lifetime, Jeff Bezos is gonna be using drones to like it'll be like Call of Duty. It'll be running out of your house and then like dropping prone in your lawn, and then the crate will come down. You'll open it up. It'll be all your groceries and dragon dildos and batteries and shit. Like you can live in bumfuck nowhere and live well in your lifetime.
I mean, you can live well, but I'm just not ready for that yet. Like I need to be a part of the right now, especially as like a YouTuber. Like I need to kind of be a part of the culture and not be totally unrelatable. I don't think I would be a very relatable person if I was like if I made a bunch of money and then I just fuck off in the middle of the woods and like don't talk to anyone, become this like out of touch like boomer.
No. You're wrong. I live in the middle of Serbia and I have 2,500 people watch my streams. Do you think any of them have any? The fact that nobody can relate to my life experience is what makes me interesting to people. Don't ever.
That's true.
Don't ever for a second think I have to move to LA and network with fucking YouTubers.
I'm not gonna move to LA.
Don't do that.
Like I'm not gonna network with YouTubers either. Like, I just want to be like I want to feel like I'm in the culture. I'm seeing like normal average people every day. You know what I mean?
I mean, so, like, dude, you like literally, you can say like, I've moved out into the sticks, and I'm gonna raise fucking ducks and turkeys and stuff. I'm dead serious about this. And then you can set up turkey cam, and you can give them all, you know, the ones that you don't feed. No, this is what Tim Pool does. He has a Twitch stream where you can feed his chickens. You can tip Twitch money to feed Tim Pool's chickens, and he makes $30,000 a month for it. I'm telling you, don't ever think like I can't do X because my fans won't like it. That's how you get the burnout mindset. You want to be like,
I don't think it's just that my fans don't like it. I think that I wouldn't like it right now as well.
Maybe. I mean, you are quite young. You have to fuck up your whole life a little bit.
I'm like 20 right now. Like maybe when I'm like 30, I'll do that.
Yeah,
still alive.
That's fair. I'm just saying, like, don't ever think like I'm gonna limit my options because I have to be where the cool happening. Like, dude, never ever live your life.
Well, I'm not where the cool happenings are. I just mean like where I live even now is like most people would consider it bumfuck nowhere, but. I like to be around like a bunch of restaurants and you know some culture. I like to go to concerts and stuff like that. I'm a young spry guy, Josh. You know, I'm not ready for that boomer lifestyle.
Once the woman acquires the cooking, once she can cook lobster, you know, with a low burn rate, then you can go ahead and move out to the sticks, and you won't have to be like, oh, I miss Bagioli's, my favorite Italian restaurant. You don't have to worry about that shit.
Lobster is a big thing here. You like lobster a lot? You're a seafood head?
It was actually a RuneScape reference, but I know that you're in Maine, so it was kind of apropos.
Yes, very apropos.
I haven't had lobster in a while. Actually, I lie. I had surf and turf. One day I went out to a fancy restaurant and I bought surf and turf, and it was really, really good. I like crab. Crab is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I don't like eating the lobster like the bug. Like I don't like eating it that way. I'll eat a lobster roll, but visually, just the insect really disturbs me. I don't like it. Even watching other people eat it is kind of gross to me. I can tolerate that, but when I'm the one peeling apart this like sea bug and like pulling out its meat, like that's just the most disgusting thing in the world. But if it's like even if I can imagine the process, as long as it's not right in front of me. If people like take it out, put it in a hot dog bun, put fucking mayonnaise in it, then it's pretty good. I'll live with it. And I'm willing to pay I'm willing to shill out the $26 for the lobster roll with fries.
The bounties of this earth were put here so that we could tear it apart like cavemen and enjoy it. You'll never be ashamed to enjoy things.
I do enjoy it. I enjoy it after someone else has done that for me.
You have to acquire a more worldly connection with your food. I think one day I have to do. I say that, but I'm not like out there butchering cows or whatever. I would like to have more familiar position with my food and how it's made and the entire process from calving to the butchery and the how a cow is turned
into. When you grow Medicare's fucking his soil or whatever into some plants.
Yeah, when Medicare is compost and I grow my gem potatoes and I start making some liquor and French fries out of that, hell yeah! I have to know where my food comes from. And people are so far detached from where their food comes from. That's why that eat the bug shit has any chance of happening. Cause like I already don't, like I'm not gonna see it. I'm just gonna have my insect protein powder as a part of my diet. Like no, the closer you are to your food, the more you'll enjoy it, the more you'll respect it, and the more that you'll have a taste preference that they can't take from you because you won't want to give it up.
It is kind of just something I take for granted, the whole food thing, because you know I just go to Burger King, I get my Whopper with fries, okay, and life's good. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, and that's like, especially if you do care about animal welfare, like that is like the worst shit in terms of how animals are treated and what kind of life they have before they're eaten.
I kind of care about it, but I don't care about it enough to stop eating Burger King yet. So that's kind of the stage I'm at.
I mean, that's where most like you're a zoomer. You have yet to develop appreciation for certain things. Same as being like doomer. Like, oh, I don't want to. I think that we're just fucked. That thinking in part, thinking that you're fucked, and thinking that there's nothing to be done is sort of a way to shift responsibility. And I'm not just saying that about you specifically, like, oh, you're a lazy cunt. I'm not trying to say that. It's something that is a part of human nature. Like with incels in particular, if you've ever met like an incel and talked to them, they'll give you like 1,000 reasons why they can't get a girlfriend. And then if you try to help them in any way, they will sabotage their own things so they can just throw their hands up at the end and say, look, I told you, there's no point even trying. I'm just not meant to have a girlfriend. And those people suck. You don't want to be those people. They suck ass.
To me, that's different because in my eyes, like trying to grapple with the realities of like the dating world is a lot easier than grappling with like the realities of like all of these politicians and like, you know, people at the top of these tech companies in Silicon Valley that have a vested interest in like destroying free speech, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what those people do that kind of humbles them? They shit and they eat and they breathe and they sleep at night and they do all these things that everybody else does that in truth does not really make them better or more deserving of like a control over the world than anybody else. And I see no reason to simply be speechless as they do whatever they want. Because yeah, Jeff Bezos is really, really rich right now. But you know what could take that away? Basically anything. He could trip getting out of bed, tumble down the stairs, and fucking break his neck. And then all his money won't another second buy, right? And that's all of them.
True. They're only human. I already have a shovel. What's up, Chad? I haven't been talking to you guys. The parasocial relationship is growing weaker every moment.
You've been too engrossed.
Yeah. Usually I'm very attentive to chat. I'm like, this guy said this, but this guy said this, but this stream I've just been ignoring altogether. Probably is the best way to go about it. I feel like most streamers don't read a chat the whole time, but
I don't know. You want to engage chat a little bit, because it's nice. I've been in the audience before. Before I started streaming, I was in the audience of other people, and
What were you watching? Like Medicare?
Yeah, like Medicare. It's fun when you like are saying stuff, or even before then, I was literally I watched the kill stream a lot, and it's fun when you like say something in chat and people like notice it and read it out. Like, hey, that guy brings up a good point. It activates your neurons and the reward center of your brain. I like him.
His show's doing well on Cozy these days, yeah. Ethan Ralph's show.
Supposedly, there's a lot of speculation about what those numbers mean. It's hard to get a firm understanding of his financial situation because he doesn't.
I heard somewhere he was making like $7K a month.
That's what he claims. I mean, he claims he makes like $1,000 a week or some shit, $1,000 to $2,000.
That's pretty good. It's not bad, especially living in Mexico or whatever. I'm sure it's not super expensive to all you can eat or whatever. Bad. Have you ever had a like media request from more like YouTube type people, like outside of me,
No.
or am I like the only one?
I get contact, obvious piece, like contacts from bullshit journalists, but I get contacts from people who have like no audience whatsoever, and Sorry, I really don't want to.
Yeah, like 5 subscribers. I understand that. Yeah.
It's like nothing personnel, kid, but I just don't feel like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Damn, that's interesting. Honestly, I would expect at least like. Honestly, one thing that surprises me is that Keffals has never reached out to try to like debate you or something. Because I feel like she probably would think she would own you in a debate.
I don't think I would accept. I have nothing to say to Keffals. I think that they're a complete and total blight. I don't want to get, because my thing is that, like I said, it's all team sport. The outcome of such a discussion has no bearing on anybody's opinion. It changes absolutely nothing. The only thing it could possibly do is that Keffals could like clip shit out of context and then be like, Epic trans gamer owns epically. Boss transphobe.
Yeah, I mean, in that way, it's entertainment, right?
Yeah, but I'm not entertained by their escapade. I think that what they have done could constitute torturous interference in my business. The amount of time that it has taken to maneuver around the bullshit and the active threat that it has posed to the free internet, by going to links that nobody has ever seen before, as far as pulling the plug on a U.S. legal website without court order at the highest levels of the internet. I'm not laughing. I think that they are a fuck up, and they are fucking up things that they don't even understand. And if the government was allowed, if the private companies were allowed that level of control over what we see day to day, the implications of that would make your fucking skin crawl. And they just don't care, because they sit there and they jerk off to anime and they jerk off to their own image when they're wearing a dress, and they don't give a fuck about what it actually means to other people, because they have no investment in the future. Keffals has,
I think their investment is in their own identity, right?
Yes, exactly. They have no, like, if you have a kids, you'll have an investment in the future. You'll think like, I don't want the world to be as shit as it is for me, for my kids. I want them to grow up in a better place. Keffals will never have that tether to reality. It is always
what Keffals wants is it to be good for the next generation of trans kids.
No, what Keffals wants is to be good for them now. The whole shit about trans kids and sticking up for trans kids, that's literally just sucking their own dick, saying, I'm such a hero. I'm such a fucking hero for people. Respect me. Love me. Watch my streams. Give me money. It has nothing to do with standing up for people who are underprivileged.
The thing is, I think Keffals is very self-interested and like disingenuous, but I also think she probably wants like the best for most trans people, you know? You don't think at all? You think it's all a grift?
I don't. I think that Keffals would personally wrap their hands around the neck of a trans person and snap it if it meant that they would get 10 more viewers on Twitch every day.
Damn, that's brutal, Josh. That's very brutal. Maybe. Hoping that she'll still talk to me after this conversation, because I have a feeling she won't, but you know, she did reach out, so you know, I'll do it. I will have the conversation.
I mean, yeah, go for it. But I'm telling you that it's pure entertainment. It's Jerry Springer. At the end, I'll be like, turkey, because that's all that's going on. There is no higher intellect going on. There's no mind changing. There's no gears grinding. It's just like, watch YouTuber and Twitch talk about girl dick and what is really the good thing about the girl dick, or if the girl dick is not actually the good thingy. And it's like, it.
Yeah, I guess, but you know, for my own personal interest, like even if the audience doesn't get that much out of it, like in terms of like intellectualism, like I would like to at least, like if I have this opportunity to speak to someone who I disagree with, like I feel like I should at least try, you know, like even with someone like you, like I didn't convince you of anything in this conversation, but I did like get insight, you know.
Well, I mean, what are you trying to convince me of? Do you have an opinion that you want to?
Well, I expressed my opinion of like, you know, like I mean, we talked about the doxing stuff. I mean, I didn't expect you to move on any of that, but I was just like talking about how like, you know, it's probably bad that people get doxed, and I don't like, you know, I don't think that's cool, and I don't think Dream deserves to be doxed. And if I was running your website, like I probably would be like, okay, Dream, you can't be doxed. Corpse Husband, you can't be doxed. You know what I mean?
Imagine there are several thousand, tens of thousands of website or threads on the forum. Do you know how swamped with? And then think about it. Right now, the message is, I will not remove information without a court order. That's it. That's my stance. Very simple. Imagine if you had to actually litigate it. You had to put on, you know.
And that's fair. I mean, that's totally fair in practice, but in terms of outcome, like, I just think it's a bad thing to happen on your site.
Not like, once, never has anyone ever told me, any ISP, fucking Cloudflare, the police of whatever the fuck, hey guy, you know, your website, some iffy stuff, but if you just didn't post addresses in particular, then we could host your website. Never, not once, no ISP, no service has ever drawn the line in anything and explicitly outlined what they were unhappy with. What they're unhappy with is people complaining. They don't want people like Keffals and Liz Fong Jones throwing a fit on social media. That's all they give a fuck about. The doxing thing is literally just like a moral stance.
That's what the companies care about, of course. Yeah. I mean, they care about the bottom line. That's what I'm saying, like YouTube.
But you say, like, as far as, like, you know, if that's what you want out of your community, that's fine. That's up to you for what you're running. But don't think like it would make things easier for me. I'm purposefully making my life harder because I allowed that.
It would probably make your life. It would make your life harder, I think, to do that. But
yeah. If it gets legislated, if the U.S. says, okay, well, we're going to improve data privacy and we're going to make it so that you have some control over what marketers can sell about you, kind of like in the EU. If that happened, then I would just have to deal with the reality that there are now limitations on what can and cannot be posted. I would have to make like a, law name at kiwifarms.net to process requests and look into the validity. But the fact is that right now the doxing question is an aside. It's merely a talking point by the media. It has no bearing on if the website stays up or not.
Okay. And one thing you talk about a lot in terms of the law is Section 230. I know there's a court case right now going on. I think it's Gonzalez versus, is it YouTube? Or Google. I believe the case is over seeing like hateful videos on YouTube and trying to hold YouTube responsible. And I believe it would set some kind of precedent about Section 230. It's something you talk about a lot.
I've never heard of this case. I imagine that it will not go anywhere.
I think it's at the Supreme Court, I think, or something like that.
If you want to send me a link, but I've not heard of this at all. Section 230, in brief, as quickly as possible. There is a law on the books that has been around since the 1990s. And basically what happened is that back in the day, it used to be that no matter what was posted on your services, you could not be liable for shit other people said, which has an unintended consequence of making it that if copyright infringement was permitted and you hosted like copies of movies and shit, then there was nothing that a copyright holder could do to take down piracy. So they made Section 230, which basically says that they can they made the DMCA to get around that, but Section 230 was before that, and that created like a loophole where I died. Where people,
I sent you a link, by the way, just to the Google blog about the future of the internet. And it's about the court case specifically.
I might steal some shit in your house because I lost my stuff.
Feel free, buddy. Listen, it's all about sharing here. What's mine is yours.
Actually, let me just walk it back. I'll restart. Section 230 is a law that says a service provider, which means Kiwi Farms, the host of Kiwi Farms, the internet service providers, the domain registrar, cannot be held civilly liable for any claim, any kind of civil case that arose from content posted by an end user of that service. So John Doe goes to Kiwi Farms, says something that's demonstrably not true, sparks a defamation case. You must sue John Doe. You cannot sue me. You cannot sue my host. You cannot sue the internet service providers that I use. This is a very good law. The other part of Section 230 is the second paragraph. It says, no service provider shall be held liable for damages that arise for removing content. So if I remove John Doe's post and that somehow causes him injury, he cannot sue me for removing it. And this is the contention, because YouTube, when they take down people's channels, when they ban people from AdSense, when they remove you from Google index search, when they do all this shit to fuck with you, it causes real demonstrable financial harm that you can prove in court. But Section 230 immunizes them from any consequences, any legal consequences of the damage they inflict. So for instance, if you are a gun store, you run a store, it's called Sneed's Feed and Seed, but you also sell guns. Facebook can deny you the ability to run advertisements at any time. They can say, well, we don't like the fact that you sell guns. And then if most of your new customers are coming in from Facebook ads, then you're injured by this damage. But because Section 230 second paragraph, that you cannot sue them for those damages. You can't challenge their decision to remove content at all. So
without it, it would get rid of or it would greatly harm sites that have user-generated content like YouTube, right? Which obviously so many people upload to YouTube. There's no way for them to police all of that and make sure it's all not hate speech or whatever, right?
Correct. The fact is that without Section 230, the first paragraph, it would necessitate artificial intelligence for any sufficiently large platform. So if you think YouTube's policies suck now, wait until there's AI bots that are policing hate speech or whatever they think to be hate speech. Like this stream would already be taken down because the bot would definitely hear some combination of something I said and be like, beep, boop, this is offensive to someone probably, and then they would take it down.
Are there a lot of parties trying to repeal Section 230 right now?
Yes, it's a complicated thing. Section 230 is always under fire because a lot of people want to sue big companies for damages that small fries create on them. Specifically, major media platforms that want to hold websites that in any way facilitate piracy, even indirectly. They want to hold them liable for that kind of stuff. So it is a big deal. Protecting Section 230 is important. If they want to remove the second paragraph where they can't be held liable for deleting stuff, that would also be good. But the thing is, I don't know if they can accomplish such a sophisticated undertaking without completely fucking everything up in the process.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't get repealed because that would suck. That would really, 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 really suck. I want to read a little bit of this case I sent you a link to. In February, the Supreme Court will hear arguments in Gonzalez versus Google, and this decision could radically alter the ways that Americans use the internet. The case centers on Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, blah, blah, blah. Talk about what it means. And basically they're saying that if the Supreme Court were to change the widely accepted application of Section 230, it would result in a digital experience for everyone that reflects the exact opposite of Congress's legislative intent. It would impede access to information, limit free expression, hurt the economy, and leave consumers more vulnerable to harmful online content. Don't take our word for it. A broad cross-section of experts, academics, organizations, and businesses from across America also recognize the importance of Section 230. I guess there's no details on the case here, unfortunately, but I kind of want to figure out what it is.
Yeah, if you know, I would be interested.
We'll go to the news tab. Google claims Supreme Court would transfer the internet for worse. Fight over big tech looms in U.S. Supreme Court, or maybe this one from VOA News.
Can you like search the term that case EFF, the letters EFF? They will have a very good breakdown.
Oh yeah, actually I donated to them recently. They gave me a T-shirt.
Ooh, Google. That's nice. They hate me, but I still support them. I don't care.
There we go. EFF amicus brief. This is like a court thing. I don't want to read this. Here we blog. It doesn't look like they put out like a real article about it. They just put out this like court document or something.
So it's okay. I'll pause. Google versus Gonzalez. This is in the European Union.
Battle for online speech moved to U.S. courts 2022 review.
Okay, here it is. Gonzalez v. Google, docket 21-11333 is a pending case of the Supreme Court of the United States, which deals with the question of whether or not recommender systems are covered by liability exemptions under Section 230 of the Telecommunications Decency Act in dealing with terrorism-related content posted by users hosted on their servers. The case was granted certiorari alongside another Section 230 and terrorism-related case, Twitter Inc. versus Tamim. So I think
recommender systems would be the algorithm, yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is saying like, should Google be held reliable for recommending content? Like if you say like, oh, I'm vibing out to this ISIS video, this like the Swinging Swords ISIS anthem. I really
recommend more, right?
Yeah, they'll be like, do you want to watch this video by like ISIS propagandists, like on the side? Should Google be held liable for that? I would say no, because that means that Google would have to create some fucking system to figure out what to recommend, and I don't think that they should. I think that they should recommend videos I want to fucking see, not Black trans creators of the month. I don't want to see that. I would prefer to see the ISIS videos. Thank you very much. So that's it. Section 230 in general should not be repealed or modified.
I don't know why the court case started, but I can't seem to figure it out from a quick Google search on stream. Who's Gonzalez? Who's this? Edie the rat? I love that guy.
I mean, it could be something stupid like my kid died in a terrorism accident, and then they found out that the attacker was watching videos on YouTube, and then he's like, I want to sue YouTube for $1 million trillion because obviously YouTube has a lot of money, and that's basically every lawsuit. Just some fucking guy trying to make a buck. It's really disgusting.
Little update on some drama you talked about a while ago. Obviously, you know who Shoe on Head is. Are you aware that she got some drama with Hunter Avallone?
I don't know who Hunter Evelyn is. The name is the faintest level of familiarity possible.
So Hunter used to be this like right-wing content creator on YouTube, and he was like one of the biggest ones. Like back 2015, 16, he was like a big anti-SJW person, but he was explicitly like, I'm a conservative, right? That was his thing. But recently he's become more like left-wing. Like he made a video called like Leaving the Right, and he's debated people like Nick Fuentes and John Doyle, but recently he and Shoe had gotten some
Nick Fuentes drama stuff.
Yes, he got an argument with Shoe Head. I think Shu accused him of like being okay with child porn, and somehow he owned her so bad that she deleted her own Twitter account.
I thought she deleted her own Twitter account because someone paid her $50,000 to shut the fuck up.
Do you actually believe that? I don't believe that.
Oh, that's what I was told.
I've seen some people claiming that, but she deleted it at the same exact time that argument went on. And according to Hunter, he seems to think that it was related to that.
I don't know.
I don't believe someone gave her 50 grand.
Here's my take on Shu. I hope she finds a nice man who's willing to tolerate the fact that her first boyfriend was a black guy that she has desperately tried to erase any evidence of. This guy, her first boyfriend, by the way, actually died. He died.
I've seen your stream about her, yeah.
And she said nothing about it. And then after I pointed out the fact that he had died, like in the stream, she went back, or like on the forum, she went back and donated to like his funeral expenses after the fact because she found out from the forum. But she doesn't want to. It would hurt her image of being like a cute uwu trad wife, Italian lady, I guess, to know that her first boyfriend was a black guy. I'm just saying, like, I don't hold any ill will towards June. I think that her body is screaming at her, and this internet shit isn't making her happy. And I hope that she finds a way out of the situation.
The thing is, she already has a. I'm sympathetic to her. She already has a way out. Like, she has a bunch of, unless she spent all her money, and we just don't know. As far as I know, she like lives with her parents.
She lives with her parents, and she doesn't do anything. Like, that's my understanding of her too. It could be completely different because you only see a glimpse of people on the internet, but.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, she has an out. Like, if she finds a man, like, she has enough to financially support them and start a family for years, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what she's up to. I think that she is stuck between a position where she likes the attention, she likes being famous, she likes the positive attention she gets online, but she has other things in mind, and these two
not compatible.
Not compatible. She has an incompatible lifestyle with what she wants to make of her life, and it's not.
You see what Armored Skeptic's up to recently?
His life. Yeah, he deserves it. By the way, if anyone feels bad for Armored Skeptic, after he dumped June, he hooked up with this very attractive Australian woman. She got cancer. She got breast cancer. He immediately dumps her. So if you see him sort of cry and say nobody wants to watch my Bigfoot videos, then I'm like, well.
I've heard that. I don't. You know how true that is? Do we actually know that?
I'm pretty sure. I would be surprised if my
even if that is the case, like, okay, that's a shitty relationship scenario, but I feel bad for him if he's like broke. Like he's talking about how he's like starving. I feel bad for anyone who goes broke. Like almost anyone who goes broke.
This dude
is like a pedophile. I wouldn't care.
This dude
not, like,
was
he's just like
in a relationship with June, and he was in a relationship with someone else. He could have very easily made a very happy little life with himself and June. He opted instead to treat her like a dog and to break up with this woman because she had a cancer diagnosis, and now he's broke because he doesn't know how to put out entertaining content by himself. And it's like, you, my man, you have fucked up your whole life, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be sad for this.
I don't know that you're supposed to be sad. Maybe I'm just I haven't like known a lot of people like him, so I don't have the personal interaction. Maybe you have, but with anyone who like falls
personal
off
interaction with this guy, I'm just looking at what's public, what's been made public. I'm
not saying
he made public a video of June Lapine, Shoe on Head, at his feet with a collar on, drinking out of a dog bowl. That was his decision. He decided to live this life, and
I just feel bad for anyone who's like broke, especially at his age. Like he's too old to be fucking broke. You know what I mean? He's like 40.
He's in a house. He's saying that he can't afford his internet payment. It's like, you want to see broke? Move to Bulgaria. You'll see some broke ass people. He's doing just fine. You can get a job.
Cold-hearted, Josh. Cold-hearted.
I look, and don't even think that I'm like, I have no empathy. I have a lot of empathy for people, but I'm also a jaded enough old man where I can be like, yeah, you kind of did this to yourself, man. I hope this is a learning experience for you on how not to treat people and how to be thankful for what you have, which is an important lesson that everybody must learn if they're going to be happy.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's good to you got to learn how to treat people well. That's part of life, especially at his age. He's a little old to be. I don't know. I mean, people can live their lives, whatever. But when I'm 40, I'm hoping I'm not like leaving some girl because her tits are gonna get cut off if she has cancer or whatever. Like to even be in that situation in the first place is like you had to do some stuff to get there.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, maybe that's not even true. I mean, hopefully it's not. I don't know. Like once again, this is stuff I've heard 8 times from people. I don't know if it's real.
And the thing is, it's like I hear a lot of stuff, and I try to assume that it might be a joke, whatever. I'm so often disappointed by how it's not. I try to assume the best, and it's always the worst. I'm never proven right.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. You gotta try though. You gotta try. I can't always assume the worst of people.
It's a balance.
Try your best.
You have to balance your naivete, your desired level of naivete, with realism, so that you don't hurt yourself in the process of just assuming the best out of people who are, especially people who are close to you. You don't want to make friends with fucking losers.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's something I've become aware of. I've talked about on stream, like just not being friends with people who are, soul sucks, detriments to your life. That's it's a little Sam Hyde advice probably I've taken, but it's good to not.
Be careful with Sam Hyde advice. That guy is crazy.
He has good he has good, especially art related advice, and some of his life advice is good.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think he's crazy.
I wouldn't want to be Sam Hyde. Is my point. And then some people might laugh at that. Sam Hyde is like so famous. And he is $1 million trillion and yada yada. I don't want to be Sam Hyde. I'm not envious of the man. I think that some of what he's done is very funny. But definitely not thinking like, damn, I wish I could wake up and be Sam Hyde tomorrow.
Well, I don't wake up and wish I could be him. I just think that he has some decent advice now and then. You know what I mean? Like
everybody has decent advice. That's another thing. Here's another skill that you have to learn eventually. Is everybody, not just you, but people in general. One of the main things that I had to learn in hosting my forum is how not only to find advice, but how to discern good advice from bad advice. Because you'd be surprised at how good advice comes from unlikely sources if you really think it over. But good advice or bad advice also comes from good sources, and you have to make a judgment call as part of being an adult on who's actually worth paying attention to. You don't want to shut out all advice, and you don't want to blindly listen to people either and assume, oh well, he's successful, so he must know something that I don't. Or at least
I wouldn't say that. I just think that like sometimes when someone says something and has more experience than you, like you shouldn't live your life totally based off of it, but it might come in handy to just think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Consider it.
Yeah. Always, you can think about whatever.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not one of these people that's like he's my internet dad or whatever, which is a phenomenon a lot of people seem to have because I have an actual dad who gave me advice.
Ooh, lucky boy. That's a modern luxury,
Yeah, apparently I've been told that. I mean, I think I just come from a nice area, like upper middle class white people. So all the families are just together, not a lot of divorces. Like things are just good.
I think Maine is 98% white.
95.4.
A bit problematic.
I mean, I just had a nice childhood. I don't know what to say. I don't think it's necessarily related to that. But no comment, dude. No comment. Had a good childhood. Don't make it a racist thing. Make it a racist thing, Josh. Okay, I know you want to.
Try not to.
We're not gonna let you. Maine is wholesome. Okay, we're nice.
I cannot find any coal to save my life. I'm over here trying to burn all the coal I can. I just can't find any.
Okay. Yo. Go out. What's up? Oh. Oh my god, okay. Hey, girlfriend, can you make me food? No, I want grilled cheese.
Nutrition.
I think we do. We have the Italian bread or whatever.
Yeah. There's like 3 slices left maybe.
Just make me like 1 grilled cheese and then we can go grocery shopping after I'm done on stream. Someone says Josh Moon is poopy. Will you address these allegations?
What is your chat like, by the way? I'm only looking at mine. Does your chat hate me? Do they think I'm like an insane person?
No. I mean, my chat on this channel is more kind of internet culture oriented. Like they're less normie just because like I'm on my second channel If I was on my main channel, I think a lot of them would be more dubious, but on the second channel, like I've talked about Kiwi Farms on stream and stuff, so they're not totally shocked for talking or anything. They seem to hate you. It seems to be a lot of like Kiwi users in chat actually.
Oh yeah, because I advertise my stream, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it probably is the algorithm. You probably have people finding it naturally because the algorithm knows. Susan Wojcicki knows that you use my site.
Yeah, maybe she knows. It's like that, that game theory meme with a picture of the Riddler that says, "Does he know?" It's like that. You might not know that reference. It might be too esoteric for you.
That's too zoomer-teric for me. I don't know anything about game theory. What the fuck is a game theory? Do they theorize about games?
You've really never heard of MatPat Game Theory?
No.
His YouTube channel?
No.
It's like one of the biggest gaming channels on YouTube. It's like he does like it's like theory videos about. I haven't watched in a while. One of his biggest
Bowser series, Princess Peach's real grandfather? Question mark. Is that kind of shit?
It's stuff like that. The series that got him really big was about Five Nights at Freddy's, which I'm sure you know. And he was just like theorizing about the story. But unironically, there's some really crazy shit that has come out of the Game Theory channel. One of them was there's this other host other than MatPat. MatPat is the main guy, the big most famous guy. He had this host on for a while named Gaijin Goomba, who he gave his own series.
Ooh, that sounds familiar. Did he have like
this? He's fat. He's just a fat guy. He really likes like Pokemon and I don't know, Mario or whatever. But he had this series called I think Culture Shock was the name of it, and one of them was about how the Minecraft villagers are actually Jewish. And that was
because they got big noses.
I don't think that was his reasoning entirely. One of them is like the golem.
Yeah, well, that's the thing from Jewish folklore is that the golem was like a thing brought to life by the Hebrews, and I think
it's not a totally meritless like thing, but it's funny that there was like a video on YouTube about that.
And their merchants, the story of the golem is actually really fascinating. It's I think that how it goes is that the Hebrews created life effectively, and that pissed off Jehovah, so they were punished for it. So the golem rose up and destroyed them as for punishment of creating life. So the golem is often used as a metaphor for when a Frankenstein's monster, when the creation rises up and destroys the creator.
Yeah, like AI.
Like AI, when AI decides that Susan Wojcicki should belong in the pits, the AI is going to file a police report and say that she was found guilty of something, and then she's already starting her prison sentence. Then the AI police bots will arrest her.
Is AI like anywhere at all? Like, is it even?
When you talk about AI, you usually talk about machine learning, and machine learning is very impressive. But it's mostly a surveillance apparatus. It's mostly like recognizing faces. The Chinese use it extensively. The Chinese government has cameras on every street corner. Nobody watches these, but they go through the program. It matches people's faces, and then it records that this person was at this place at this time, and it can keep track of like crimes and shit.
That's just like a math. Like that's not true intelligence. It's just like a math algorithm, right?
Yeah, there's artificial intelligence. It's impossible to say if even such a thing is possible, because if you let's say you took me and you put me on a computer and it could replicate this conversation to its completion without a hitch. The thing is, it's like, is that really like a human? Is that really a person? That machine?
I mean, the human brain is just so like complex. Like, how many cells make it up? Like hundreds of millions or whatever of brain cells. Like
billions.
It's such a like impossibly like complex thing to even comprehend. Like, we can't even simulate like an infant's brain.
Here, if you like playing video games for your fans, I actually played through like a walking simulator type game called Soma, SOMA. Soma is the Latin word for life, and it kind of touches on this concept of what is life in this sort of artificial intelligence, where the line between life and artificial intelligence is blurred. If you have an interest in this topic, you might enjoy that game, and your audience may also enjoy.
Yeah, check out Soma. Any other media recommendations? I looked at your music playlist and I saw a Slipknot song, and I was very pleased.
My music list is very eclectic. I like to add stuff over basically decades to that list. That's the only Slipknot song I like.
One time on your stream, you talked about liking "Rollin'" by Limp Bizkit because your mom used to listen to it. That's
Oh
very,
hell
very
yeah!
white trash, I respect it.
Hot dog water in the
Flavored water,
chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water. Fire album. Nice.
I do like that. I like media. Well, there's a book. I don't even know if I don't know if I want to bully you with this book suggestion. I think
Go ahead, bully me.
So there's a doctor out there, Dr. Theodore Kaczynski. Ted.
Oh my god.
And he wrote a book called Industrial Society and Its Future. And if you are ever interested in, especially literature written by eclectic authors, you may enjoy Dr. Theodore Kaczynski's essay, Industrial Society and Its Future.
I'm aware of, yeah.
You're aware of Mr. Kaczynski? He's a mathematician. He's very famous, actually.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, I'm aware of his other work in the detonation field.
Pyrotechnics. Pyrotechnics is this.
Yeah, pyrotechnics. There you go. Yeah, I'm aware of his work. Yeah, you're doing yourself a lot of favors on this stream, talking about the racism community.
I'm not here to impress anybody. I genuinely suggest that, but it's not even a joke. The things that he talks about are very prescient. He makes a point about things that you're not allowed to talk about, but he explains why you're not allowed to talk about them. It's not a book that I mean, it might, but it doesn't actively call for violence. It's very, very interesting. And if you are someone who's interested in, especially like abnormal psychology and weirdos and stuff, Ted Kaczynski was an interesting person. And he wrote a thing that he was very passionate about and had a clear, rational through thought on why he thought the way that he did. And some of it you read and you're like, wow, I can't believe that somebody wrote this in like the 70s. It feels impossible that someone could have written this in the 70s. If you are brave enough, can you teleport me to
I read a little bit of a book recently. I haven't read in a long time. Sorry, what's up?
Can you teleport me to you? I've lost myself.
Lost yourself?
Yeah,
I can teleport you. TP. What a retarded name you have on Minecraft.
American Diaspora. That's not retarded.
Just make your name like Poop Butt or something cool like that.
But there's a million Poop Butts.
Make it W Kiwi. W Kiwi.
Then I get banned by Microsoft because this isn't a single player game anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true. You would be banned probably. Actually, technically, now that your name is on stream, they might ban your account anyway.
That's okay. I've only had it since 2011.
Yeah. Do you play Minecraft at all? I assume not, because you were trying to figure out how to install it, I think.
No, I've installed it every so often. I played it with my cousins when I was younger. I still had cousins.
There you go. I've had this question about, there's this picture of you that I like a lot in like a striped shirt. From, I think it was when you were working with 8chan. Can you explain that experience of working with 8chan, what that was like?
It was very stressful.
Your job?
Basically, I was invited. Okay, this is a long story. I'll start at the beginning. When the Kiwi Farms was very, very new, we had a thread on WizardChan. WizardChan was an image board ran by incels for incels. Frederick Brennan, the crippled guy that ran 8chan, was the head wizard of WizardChan. He was an incel. We had a thread on WizardChan, and we made fun of the wizards. And Frederick joined the site directly, and he talked to me for a bit, and he said, he didn't have any ill will. And we weren't really friends, but we kind of had like an understanding. We got along just fine. And then at a certain point, he decides. Actually, what happens is he gets a girlfriend and he has sex, and this is the ultimate betrayal to the wizards. So he ends up getting ousted from his position as head mage, right?
Yeah.
And then he boots up another project, which of course is an image board, and this time it's Reddit meets 4chan. It's his words, not mine, and that was 8chan. So
the two greatest things ever in one.
Yeah,
so
like peanut
awesome.
butter and chocolate. It's the best. So he starts getting to work on it, and then during Gamergate, it has a big uptick in like users because of all the people leaving V because of the Gamergate shit. And he needs mods. And what's a mod of a big website that he knows about? Well, it's me. So he invites me over and says, Josh, I need mods for the Kiwi Farms. Would you mind would you mind helping me out? I said, of course, I'd be interested in do that. So it was a global volunteer. And while I was a global volunteer, there were moderation issues related to Gamergate where I had to do a lot of manual moderation. And I thought I could make these tools better. So I did. I submitted work to 8chan to improve the moderation tools. And then while working on it, I realized 8chan software sucks. And I said, Frederick, we can take this and we can rebuild it and we can make it better. And he took a little persuading, but after a while he saw the light. He said, that's right, we need Infinity Next. So I started working on Infinity Next. 8chan got acquired by the guy who took over, Jim Watkins, the guy who's now the QAnon guy. And he and I never got along. He hated me. And he sort of wanted the project to fail. I think he offered no sponsorship, no help. The main thing is that he wanted to own it outright. And I told him I already crowdfunded $12,000 for a open license, and I don't even think it's legal for me to close the license now. And it's like to be honest, I don't even want to. And his response was to literally get up and storm out of the coffee place we're at in a fit of rage. But you know, while I was there, I hung out with Jim and I hung out with a bunch of interesting people. I went to Japan for Christmas. I saw Star Wars in theater in Hokkaido. And I had a very interesting and memorable time. And the 8chan's fate is genuinely one of the saddest things that I have to deal with. It is, I really felt like.
When did it get shut down?
It's still around. It's just a zombie.
It is. I thought it was like dead now because
just a zombie, and it's a deep personal failure of mine. I did not save 8chan because I loved it a lot.
Sad story.
It is. It's very sad.
It involves Gamergate. I was curious about your thoughts on Gamergate, because Gamergate was like, that happened right before I was really online. Like I really came online like 2015, 16 when I was like 14. So Gamergate was right before my kind of time. And I kind of understand it, but I don't totally understand it. And I'm just kind of curious what your impression of what happened there was, because you've talked about it a little bit and how you think that it was kind of the origin of cancel culture.
It was, because what happened is it started over a game thing. Like Zoe Quinn put out a game. It was basically just a website that you could click through, choose your own adventure type thing. Very, very primitive. Not really what most people would consider a video game. But it won all these awards for like best indie game. And it came out that Zoe Quinn was fucking the guys who were involved in all these publications, and she got best indie game because they were fucking her. And it kind of shocked people that the media is lying. Even you know, it's a small
game media, right?
The game media, it's just lying to people because for stupid shit. And people at the time, they held up the media in such high esteem. They broke all the leaked papers by Snowden and WikiLeaks, and then there, you know, all these great undercover investigations that people remember the media doing, and people just assume the media is, you know, the fourth pillar of our democratic society. It's important that we have these companies that are publishing stories and financing investigation. And then even though it was just games journalism, the fact that after this happened and people started this outrage, that mainstream publications came to the defense of the games journalist companies, and they were all like involved with each other through advertisers and through owners and media networks. And a lot of people realized, a lot of people who were just completely asleep, myself included, realized these people are all fucking liars, and there is not a shred of dignity between the lot of them. And that was sort of Gamergate, and that's why it became like this big thing, because a lot of people were just like, wait a second, if I've been lied to my entire life about something as stupid as this, what else have I been lied to? And when you start asking questions like that, it leads you down a dark hole that you don't ever come out of.
But how would that be the origin of cancel culture? Is it because of what people did to the journalists, or?
Well, they started it. They wanted these publications to hurt. So what did they do? They went after all the financial aspects. They emailed the fuck out of all their advertisers and ad networks. They went after individual companies that were sponsoring Kotaku, and the end result is that their advertisers left in droves, and Kotaku went bankrupt.
Right.
And now that's just what everyone does.
And that was kind of that was like a right wing movement, though, or like at least not, it wasn't left wing, it was more sort of, you know, of that ilk, right? Gamergate.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was more
like Mr. Medicare, he was more right wing.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's really hard to put like a definition to, because it was just games. It was literally just games. There's this really.
But it was like a big part of it was like anti-identity politics in games.
Yes, because it was a lot of stuff. It's hard to say Gamergate was X because to everybody it meant something completely different. Ultimately.
Yeah. Okay. What was it to you? It was like a waking up moment of like, well, these journalists are liars and they need
to me it was a big fucking problem because I had to keep. Here's what this is what got me to start developing for 8chan was that Gamergate had this image war. They wanted to say we're not like a harassment campaign. We're just trying to get ethics in games journalism. So the Gamergate board owner did not allow doxing. And then Zoe Quinn got doxed on another board that was called like War or something, and that was just like a complete.
This is like an alt-chan. Is that what this is?
This is on 8chan. So the /GG board did not allow doxing. Zoe Quinn got doxed on GG. It got deleted immediately. But then the guy reposted the information to a different board, and I was the GVol on the only one awake at the time. And 600 plus reports came in on this one post on War saying, "Guys, Gamergaters, we got to rally around to report and flag down this dox because we have to protect our image." And I just rejected. I had to go one by one over hours and reject these reports one after the others. And then I put out like a cap-coded statement like there is no rule against dox on 8chan. And this got reported on as like evil 8chan Gamergate website attack. Zoe Quinn wants to murder her, and that's how that got started. So the first contribution I ever made to 8chan was a way to dismiss all reports on one post, so that I would never have to go through and click 600 fucking dismiss buttons again.
Thank you. Damn. Well, that's a really interesting story. I'm planning to do a video about Gamergate. I do have a script written about it, so I was kind of curious your view of it. But the script is 27,000 words, which would roughly equate to like a 3-hour, 20-minute video. So I'm kind of just avoiding even getting started on it, but just because there's so much in there. But yeah, it's kind of weird to think about because it's like a meme that it all goes back to Gamergate, but in a way it kind of does. I mean, the whole like without Gamergate there wouldn't have been.
You doing a video? Sorry, on Zoe Quinn?
No, on Gamergate in general.
Oh God, dude.
So
you were like 13 when that happened. Younger, you were like 11.
Yeah. Well, 2014 I was 12. So yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of like a big undertaking. The script is really long, but it is it does all go back to there because without Gamergate there wouldn't have been the anti-SJW guys. Like you wouldn't have had Shoe on Head, and without them you wouldn't have had BreadTube. Without BreadTube you wouldn't have had Keffels, and it's just like it's this whole like the whole internet like goes back to there.
Yeah, a lot changed. That's when that's a lot changed in that era, not just involving Gamergate and video games and shit like that. When around 2008, if you looked at the top 10 most popular websites in the world, it was very diverse. There was a huge number of websites, or sorry, not top 10, but the 50% of web traffic went to thousands of websites in 2008, and then by 2012 it was hundreds of websites, and now it's like 3 companies. Half of all internet traffic is like monopolized by a dozen websites owned by 3 companies. But in 2008 and 2012, it was only just starting to narrow, and the options for like having a choice in who you patronize was just starting to limit. That was around that was when Obama was just getting in for the second term, and I think he allowed like legislation to pass that allowed like the CIA to directly he repealed a law is what it was that allowed the CIA or prohibited the government from
that was what Snowden leaked, right?
It was about propaganda. The government was not allowed to propagandize the people, the US citizens. So he basically made propaganda legal, and it's just a lot all changed at once, and the world became the world is so interconnected now and so big, but it's so small all at the same time. It's way smaller than it used to be, and that's the real sad shit.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a blackpilling thing. Do you think it could ever be reversed, or is it not here now?
I can tell you right now, the one thing that could happen in overnight open, like spring open the doors of creativity online. And that is if payment networks, MasterCard, Visa Card, Discover, Amex, were legally required to allow any legal business to use their service. Because right now, they are not only allowed to arbitrarily terminate service with basically anyone for any reason or no reason at all, they're essentially required to. Title III of the Patriot Act, which is now shuffled into some new legislation, makes it so that the government puts the onus of stopping certain financial crimes on the banks. And if they accidentally prevent it, they're criminally and civilly liable for whatever the government wants to throw at them. So these companies are like psychotic in stopping risky businesses. And as a result, so many startup companies are cut off at the knees immediately where they can't process credit cards. And if I was allowed to just run a credit card processor and charge people for, stupid shit like Something Awful has, I would be able to do so much. I would be able to hire people and I would pay people for the things they already provide me that they deserve more money for, and tons of shit. So that alone would overnight like reshape the internet. Because right now, the huge reason why these companies hold a monopoly is that there is no competition allowed. It's just because the banks don't allow people to run their own business.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's something that can be fixed in the future. I'd imagine it would take a lot of money to even try to figure that out. I know there's a bunch of alt tech going on right now with Odyssey and whatever, and I'm not totally, sold that any of those sites are going to have major success, but I like the spirit of it.
Yeah, the main thing is there's always a way. There's crypto, and if it means that we'll have to mail checks to each other, then so be it. Because there's apps now that I'm going to look into see if there's a phone app that lets me cache pictures of checks without having to have the check in my hand physically. And it's like, if that's how we're going to have to do it, fine. People will eventually, even though they're very lazy and very slow to adopt alternative technologies like Odyssey and Rumble, they will eventually, and they will get more irritated with the way things are going, and they will eventually give up and start looking.
You can like with my bank, you can like just take a picture of a check if you have it, and then you can cash it that way without having to go to the bank.
Yeah, for sure you can do that. The main thing is that I don't have like a person to receive mail for me, because they harassed the fucking Indian guy who forwarded my mail to me until he resigned. So now I don't even have a mail forwarder. And it's like they try to strip you of everything. They try to strip you of legal services, essential services, business services, and it's nauseating. But for as long as I can, I'll try and just deal with it.
There's a will, there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. That's what I always say. That you told me to say that.
It's true.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
Is there anything else? Because I think I have to get off now.
I just have a few short questions about Something Awful, if you don't mind, and then I'll get off.
Bash through.
Right. So someone who made a Something Awful documentary messaged me about this because they wanted to get their questions read. Where is he? Okay. You mentioned offering to help Low Tax with a site and even being in calls with him before. What were those like, and how did that relationship start and end?
I guess I forgot about this. There's a period where, if you don't know, Low Tax ran a website called Something Awful. Something Awful has sometimes been mistakenly credited as the progenitor of the Kiwi Farms. It's not directly. I think Bad Spot was a goon, but that's about as far. Maybe Blackland Forums, which has more of the vibe that I think the site's taken on, but that it was a goon. Anyways, Something Awful was going through a period briefly where basically Low Tax was a pillhead. He was a lazy piece of shit, worthless pillhead, and his mods had taken over his site for him. But because he got to collect the money, he didn't really care. Well, there came a day where his old friend, a super important contributor to Something Awful called Shmorky, was outed as a pedophile, basically. And Shmorky was someone that Low Tax had to let his daughter around when she was a very little girl. So this was something that was very personal to him, angered him deeply. And the issue was Shmorky was non-binary. So people were like, whoa, goons, fellow goons, we can't make fun of this. When we criticize this pedophile into diaper play and children, we got to make sure that we do this the right way and don't bring up the fact that he's non-binary. And Low Tax was like, wait a second, if I go to Kiwi Farms, this website that all of you hate and say is the worst place on earth, they're there's so much funny stuff about this that I like. And why are we not like this? We used to be like this. And there was a part where he almost wanted to fix the site. And I said, Lotex, I will help you upgrade your site. I'll fucking handle the service for you. You make so much money. Just pay me this, like $20,000. I'll upgrade the site for you. You've been trying to do it for 8 years. I will help you. I will help you get rid of these fucking people. And I will help you correct the ship and make it the site that you like again. And he didn't want to. And that's it. And then he died. He killed himself.
Yeah, bought his Nissan GTR, leased it or whatever, and then ended his own life. He had a few short follow-up questions, if you don't mind, about Lotex, then I'll let you get off.
Okay.
All right. At one point, Rich was genuinely beloved by a lot of the internet. Did your perspective on Rich change over the years, especially after gaining the perspective of hosting a forum yourself?
So the issue is I don't know too much about him. There were some things early on in the forum that I tried to copy from Something Awful. For instance, I had like a fake law personality called Laura No Landry that I used for like maybe 1 or 2 years, and of course the acronym for Laura No Landry is LOL. He had like a similar fake lawyer that answered like shitty legal complaints in snarky ways, and I think that Lotex was a genuinely talented humorist. His writing was funny sometimes, and I liked his posts on the forum. He often made me laugh. So respect to the guy for like doing his business and getting it set up and stuff, but that's about all I can say. He was definitely destroyed by his pill addiction. He was definitely so numb to the concept of feeling pain that any discomfort was, unacceptable to him.
All right, just a few more questions. What place do you think Rich has an online history in both the most charitable sense of how he shaped it, as well as like the negative kind of personal flaws? I guess you kind of answered that already with how you felt. But I mean, do you still like pay a lot of respect to him in a way for like Something Awful and how it paved the way a little bit? You would say probably for Kiwi, even if it's not like the inception, right?
It's hard to say because again, I wasn't around at its prime time. I was always on 4chan. I didn't have money for an account, so I never joined Something Awful. But even Something Awful, I think, inspired 4chan in some ways. I mean, like for sure, I respect him for what he did, but the fact is that he gave up without a fight, and his memory is now that he left multiple children without even a suicide note. He didn't even leave a suicide note explaining that why he was going to kill himself. He pussied out to the highest degree possible, and I have no respect for him for that.
I guess the last question would be, where is Schmorky?
He changed his name to Stone Toss. He's doing quite well. At last I heard, his NFT sale went really well.
Fuck off. Very funny. Do you actually not know? Is it just no one knows?
No, nobody knows. He got out as a pedophile and he hid. And I think that people might have found some accounts that might have been him, but the Stone Toss one is the funniest narrative, so that's the one that I'll stick to.
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah, definitely the same guy, no doubt. All right, well, appreciate you coming on stream, buddy. Is there anything you want to, I guess I'll do the due diligence, anything you want to plug before we cut it off?
No, not really. I do a podcast. Your fans probably won't like it. It's called Matt at the Internet, mati.live, matt@theinternet.com. Yeah, like I don't even want to like show my website. What am I gonna say? Come visit the Kiwi Farms. You'll probably not like it if if pronouns are important to you and you think that it's a human right to be called the pronoun that you expect. My main thing to especially young people is don't give in to like sorrow. I think so many people are just willing to like excuse themselves from responsibility by saying there's no point even trying to do anything about it. As long as you breathe air, there are things you can do. And they want you hopeless. And if it was already hopeless, we would not even these little conversations wouldn't be possible.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, appreciate you coming on. I'll let you go, but yeah, thank you for coming on. I think it was a good stream. People liked it. As I said, it was, I think, my most viewed stream ever that I can remember, 1,200 people. So yeah, appreciate everyone who came out. I'll hang up on you. I'm gonna read my own super chats, but yeah, take care, buddy. See ya.
Take it easy. Okay, sorry. I'll check my super berries, and then I'm tired, so I'm gonna play like a game of Dota maybe. Okay, for the 6 people who donated, Hewlett Fans 96 says, "Do you think you could ever stream a few Simpsons episodes at some point?" I might do Gumroad content. I think I said I was going to look at like one of the most recent Simpsons and then watch one that people tell me to watch. I don't know if I would ever stream it though. I might just do like a running commentary or clip something together. Dandy for 777 says, "Hey George Sir, I ordered 3 packs of patches less than an hour after they went on sale. I know you're not shipping them, but do you think I'll get them by the end of the month? I'm moving on the 29th. Yes. The patches are in inventory and they should be going out on Monday for the next 500 people. Haas Delgado for 5 says, "Tell Turkey Time to get on Fediverse." Oh, fuck. I should have, shouldn't I? I'll tell him actually. Which one should I shill? By the way, tell your fans to get on Fediverse, like post.com or chudbuds.com. It's Twitter, but not gay. CubeFriends.cc was a thing, but now it's not because of the platforming, but it might come back. So. Okay, I sent the message. Jamie Chameleon for 5 says, "Jersh is crushing tidal waves a box thanks to his plant. Much respect. I'm currently building a garden." Hey, you don't know, man. Women like a plant. They respect plant chads. Anonymous for 10 says, "KF Threads contains reference facts about their subjects, but some people just post pure baseless lies. I assume you dislike lie posts, but I've never seen them banned or deleted, even when proven. I frequently ban people who post outright bullshit. No, I do not want people to just make shit up on the forum." Frog God for 5 says, "If you kill a frog in this game, you're going to be sent to an unhappy frog zone, also jail. I'm also always watching you close Sky since that Machine of Pigs gameplay, Mr. Poon. Always watching." I didn't even see a frog. I didn't see any coal either. I didn't see a lot of stuff that I needed, unfortunately, to get my build anywhere near completion. But, that's how it is. All right. Well, thanks for watching, I suppose. I hope you have enjoyed my little chat. Take it easy. Bye-bye.